Naruto God Level Majin Buu, Chapter 441-460. 441 Showdown. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Chen finally left Mount Myoboku, while Shima and Fukasaku respectfully sent Chen out and saluted Chen. Little Shishu, we have delivered it here. We have told you the address of Mount Myoboku. You can contact us at any time. If you want to come to Mount Myoboku, you can inform Bunta and the others. Personally send Chen out of Mount Myoboku, an unprecedented treatment. Chen's strength has conquered the toads of Mount Myoboku, and Shima and Fukasaku are also completely amazed by Chen, so they are so respectful. Chen nodded slightly and left Mount Myoboku. Strictly speaking, the harvest of Mount Myoboku this time was too great, which made Chen himself extremely satisfied, and finally got the Rinnegan that he had longed for, and Chen felt happy. After getting Rinnegan, Chen's strength is already at the pinnacle in today's ninja world. Soon, Chen returned to the country of rain. With the technique of Rain Tiger Freedom, Chen can clearly perceive the chakra of everyone in the country of rain at present. Of course, there are others who cannot be monitored. Like Obito, Black Zetsu, White Zetsu. Both Obito and Black Zetsu and White Zetsu have their own way of sneaking in. Especially Obito, his blur ability is very convenient. He can appear in any place. As long as he is not within the range of rain, he cannot be perceived by Chen when he appears in the house. According to Conan's previous information, Obito has frequent contact with Nagato, and Nagato seems to have been bewitched by Obito and has some careful thoughts. But Chen didn't care about it. To be honest, Nagato's character is still too weak. In the original book, he was first bewitched by Obito, and then persuaded by Naruto's mouth. This guy doesn't have much opinion. Although it is said that the strength is very good, it is not taken seriously by Chen. It is Obito. Obito has the ability to blur, and his strength is also very good. The most important thing is that his heart is full of hatred at this time, and he often does crazy things. This guy is the main force of Infinite Tsukuyomi. Chen returned to the country of rain. Rinnegan swept away. The chakra at this time had reached a terrifying level, and immediately felt a faint residual chakra, which belonged to Obito. Obito, have you been here already? With the frequent contact between Obito and Nagato, Chen knew that Obito would understand his identity one day, but at this time Chen also had no scruples. No matter how strong Obito was, it was not a problem for Tatsuya at this time. When Rinnegan is turned on, it is completely another realm. But Obito should be almost at a showdown. Chen secretly said in his heart, his eyes narrowed slightly. Obito must have already learned his identity from Nagato, and it will be a matter of time before the showdown comes. Presumably Obito can also guess that those around Uchiha Madara are also Tatsuya. Chen's eyelids jumped slightly, and he quietly reached the tower in the land of rain. Rain Country Tower. Chen quietly returned, and at this time in the tower, there were only Kushina and Makoto. Even though the faces of Kushina and Makoto have passed for a few years, the two girls still look like girls. They are probably about 17 years old, and their faces are beautiful. Wood Spirit Technique, developed by Chen, can keep them in their most beautiful faces all the time. The technique of Wood Spirit is different from Tsunade's Yin Seal. This technique is very perfect. It uses the power of yang to maintain the vitality of the body, which is enough to maintain youth and even prolong life. With this ninjutsu, the faces of Makoto and Kushina are always beautiful. This ninjutsu, the effect is very good. Chen thought to himself that he was very satisfied with this Wood Spirit technique. A smile appeared at the corner of his mouth, and he gently embraced the waists of the two women. Both Kushina and Makoto were leaning on Chen's arms, with a slight smile on the corners of their mouths as they leaned against Chen's side gently. By the way, where's Conan? Chen asked. I didn't see Conan here. Chen was very puzzled and didn't know where Conan went. Kushina smiled. Conan has been working hard recently. She is probably practicing paper secrets again. This girl has always wanted to help you. This girl. Chen's heart warmed. he understood Conan's thoughts, and smiled softly. The girl Conan really had nothing to say to him, which made Chen very happy. This girl really has a heart. Chen sighed softly, and immediately exchanged the anger of the two girls, only to see Kushina and Makoto pinch the soft flesh around his waist. Kushina even snorted, "We are also very hardy, 10-10 or both. Waiting for your return." Okay. Chen immediately admitted that he didn't dare to provoke Kushina and Makoto at home, otherwise it would be troublesome at night, hee. Kushina and Makoto are of course very concerned about Chen, but they are not so interested in ninjutsu. The two girls are studying some food every day and trying to make them for Chen. Just when Chen was in Mount Myoboku, he was tired of fruit, so he tried the food made by Kushina and Makoto, but it turned out to be unexpectedly delicious. "Chen, this time you go to Mount Myoboku, your eyes." Makoto looked at Chen with a hint of surprise in his eyes, and noticed Chen's eyes. Purple Rinnegan, supreme, stunning, showing sheer strength. On top of Rinnegan, there is Tomo, who is more and more mysterious and shows Chen's strength. Rinnegan. Kushina was also taken aback. "Chen, you finally broke through." "Well, we've reached Rinnegan." Chen smiles. Both Kushina and Makoto were extremely amazed, and there was even a little admiration in their eyes. Chen actually opened the eyes of Rinnegan, the legendary fairy. Breakthrough. Chen briefly explained it, and Kushina and Makoto were completely shocked. Soon, Conan came too, surprised by Rinnegan, who also met Chen. The three women sat together, competing for a while, and the flowers were dazzling. At this time, Chen suddenly received a notification from outside that it was Nagato asking for an interview, and at the same time a masked man followed behind Nagato. Chen's eyes narrowed. It's Nagato and Obito. It finally going to showdown. Please automatically. 442 stunned Nagato and Obito. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. It's Nagato and Obito. Hearing the news of Nagato and Obito, Chen narrowed his eyes, a faint smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and said to the reporting men, "Let them in." Who will be the man with the mask? Both Kushina and Makoto were a little puzzled, looking at Chen's meaningful smile, knowing that Chen definitely knew him, they looked at Chen. Chen smiled, "You know this person too, it's Uchiha Obito." "Obito, he's not dead." Both Kushina and Makoto were stunned, but they reacted immediately, fearing that this matter involved secrets. Chen smiled, looked at Kushina and Makoto, and whispered, "Well, as you think, the current Uchiha Obito has changed. As for Nagato, I'm afraid I'm also bewitched by him. This time they come to me, I'm afraid I want to show down with me. You can avoid it first, hide behind and listen to it." Chen said lightly, and Kushina and Makoto listened, nodded lightly, and hid in the dark. And Conan acted as Chen's right-hand man, standing beside Chen. Sat in the center, waiting for Obito and Nagato to arrive. Didn't take long for Obito and Nagato to arrive. Nagato walked in front, and Obito followed closely behind him, with a sneaky look that made Chen slightly narrow his eyes. Old teacher. Nagato still respects Tatsu, although he is bewitched by Obito, but he is not like Jiraiya in the original book. After all, Tatsu and Jiraiya's methods are completely different. Nagato has truly seen Chen's strength, and since he is not Chen's opponent, he is a little nervous. "Nagato." Chen said lightly, then looked behind Nagato. "Nagato, why are you so timid? You are the leader of Akatsuki." Behind Nagato, Obito scolded lightly, then took a step forward and looked at Shang Chen. "Uchiha Chen, I didn't expect you to be the master behind all this." Obito wore a mask and stared at Chen coldly. Since Rin's death, Obito's personality has changed a lot, and he can even take action against Minato himself, constantly putting his former teacher to death. The relationship between Obito and Chen is also very good before, and even Obito once regarded Chen as an idol and the most outstanding genius of the Uchiha family. But since Rin's death happened, Obito also wiped Chen from his memory. Or rather, Obito has erased everyone from this memory. Here, hell. That's what Obito has always felt. Hell. Here is hell. Doesn't care anymore. It's Po, Uchiha Tatsu. Whoever stands in the way of his infinite Tsukuyomi plan will all die. Anyway, in the world of infinite Tsukuyomi, I will meet Rin and others again. Obito, is that how you talk to your seniors? Chen looked at Obito coldly and made a loud noise. Obito bewitched Nagato, but Chen could not. But Minato's death was Obito's. Was caused by the hand, although it was also the ending that Minato chose, but Chen also felt a little cold towards Obito because of this. Uchiha Chen, you. Obito was about to refute, but the moment he raised his head, he looked directly at Chen's Rinnegan. Instant, Obito saw Chen's Rinnegan, and his heart skipped a beat. This is Rinnegan and there is Tomo on top of Rinnegan. What's the matter? The last time I saw Chen, I haven't seen Chen use Rinnegan, Obito. Chen lightly drank, and along with Chen's voice, he saw a surging chakra leaping out, and the explosive chakra swept through, forming a powerful force and ripples. This force destroyed the sky and destroyed the earth directly. The mask Obito was wearing was cut in half. Instant, this chakra burst out. Obito's appearance also shows that half of his body was grown from Senjuhashirama's cells and rendered white, while the other half of his body was intact. At the same time, Obito's eyes showed a look of astonishment, as if he was still surprised to see Chen's Rinnegan. Obito really can't understand, how can Chen open Rinnegan and his Rinnegan seems to be a little different from ordinary Rinnegan. Nagato is also completely shocked. This is Mr. Rinnegan, he actually mastered the power of Rinnegan. Nagato only felt his scalp go numb. The momentum of Chenjo's body showed, forming an extremely huge aura, covering the space in front of him for a while. Obito who Tatsu intended to target, even Kushina and Makoto hiding in the distance and Konan beside Tatsu felt a mountain-like pressure and faced great pressure. Damn, how could Uchiha-chan have Rinnegan? Obito really didn't expect Chen where the master came from. Rinnegan, his mind turned sharply, and he was thinking. Originally, Obito and Nagato were preparing to show off to Chen, and they were going to propose cooperation with Chen. Obito is well aware of Chen's power, and it is not like being an enemy of Chen, so he plans to cooperate with Chen. But in the current situation, he was suppressed by Chen before he could say anything. A trace of unwillingness flashed in Obito's eyes. Mangekyo in his right eye spun rapidly, and he also used the power of blur to disappear directly, allowing Chen's attack to penetrate. Then, Obito quickly appeared beside Chen, trying to attack Chen. Obito, you're still too weak. You deserve a share of Minato's death, and I'll teach you a lesson today. Chen said lightly. I only saw Chen stretched out a hand and moved suddenly. A huge repulsive force surged out. Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign. Accompanied by the repulsive force, Obito's figure was suddenly bounced off, hitting the wall in the distance heavily. At the same time, Nagato also flew upside down, but Nagato was familiar with Rinnegan's skills, and quickly released a Bansho Tenon universal pull which counteracted with Rinnegan's Shinra Tensei Almighty Push levy. Just saved his life. Even so, Obito and Nagato were also shocked. This power is indeed Rinnegan. Please be automatic, please subscribe. 443 You are not qualified. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Nagato, you have disappointed me too much. Chen glanced at Nagato, his eyes were cold. Nagato was actually the same as in the original book, so easily bewitched by Obito, really disappointed Chen. Regardless of whether it's Nagato or Obito, Chen is not pleasing to the eye. One is going crazy because of a woman, and the other is blackened because of a friend, so I plan to teach these two guys a small lesson. Chen's hand stretched out, and with a sudden movement, Rinnegan's powerful strength showed, and at the same time, the white flames belonging to Amaterasu also appeared madly and swept everywhere. White flames burned and circulated everywhere. The powerful white flames burned the space, and even the space was distorted, and even Nagato and Obito felt the extremely terrifying power. It's not good, it's Bai Yan, hurry up and avoid it, otherwise it will be miserable. Obito used the blur to quickly avoid Bai Yan, and Bai Yan passed through Obito's body, completely incapacitated. And Nagato shouted, Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign. Nagato also used the Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign, only to see a huge repulsive force issued, blocking all the white flames, and the white flames scattered, burning in all directions. Nagato's Shinra Tensei Almighty Push is very powerful, and at the same time, Six Paths Pain immediately appeared beside Nagato, and they have been guarding Nagato's left and right. Nagato finally used Six Paths Pain at this time. And Obito was also very vigilant, looking at Chen with a bit of solemnity in his eyes. They can all see the terrifying power at this time, so no matter what. Both Obito and Nagato were vigilant and used the strongest power to fight Tatsuchi. Obito and Nagato used their strongest powers, while Chen lifted weights lightly and sneered at the two of them. Alright, since Uchiha Madara died, I haven't let go of a fight, and now that I got Rinnegan, I met him. To the two of you. Come on, then, don't let me down. Chen said lightly. Let's go together. At this time, no matter what. As Obito or Nagato, they are both the top powerhouses. Although they are not as good as Chen, they are also rare in the ninja world. Chen, however, had great self-confidence and let the two go together. Hearing Chen's words, both Obito and Nagato's eyes flashed a hint of resentment, and they looked at each other immediately, and both understood each other's intentions. Matter has come to this point, we can only call it first and then talk about it. Was Uchiha-chan or the two of them? At this point, we had to fight first. Nagato and Obito acted quickly, only to see Nagato sneer and turn the chakra in his hand, showing extremely strong strength. This chakra gushes out crazily, going straight to the sky. Obito snorted coldly. Mokuden, wood style, thorns kill. Obito has Senju Hashirama cells, so he can use some Mokuden, wood style, ninjutsu, although the power is definitely not as good as Senju Hashirama, but by his Mokuden, wood style, the power is not bad. I only saw a large number of thorns appearing on the ground. Some thorns moved violently, piercing out everywhere, attacking Chen. Chen frowned slightly, but he was not in a hurry, just raised his hand slightly, and saw Bai Yan emerging from Chen's body, forming an alternative absolute defense that resisted the attack. Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth. At this time, Nagato also acted. Nagato controlled Tenshinto's pain and used the ninjutsu Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth, violently. I only saw Tenshin Dao Pain used Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth. A black ball appeared in his hand, Pain threw the black ball, and a great gravitational force came out from here. Excited from the black ball. For a time, the surrounding boulders, buildings, and even the soil were all absorbed. This Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth, is the legendary ninjutsu that creates the moon, and it is naturally extraordinary. Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth, it finally surprised me. Chen said lightly. This Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth, has caused great influence and damage, only to see cracks appearing on the buildings around the Chen. These huge stones are all absorbed, and all of them are absorbed by this Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth. The tower in the land of rain was also completely destroyed. Chen frowned slightly, not expecting to cause such a powerful destruction. Even Lien Chen himself felt a strong attraction. Not only Chen, but also Conan next to Chen, who is also slightly pale, obviously unable to control himself, and will be attracted. But it's so naive to use Rinnegan's ninjutsu against me. Chen frowned. I originally thought you could be my opponent, but now it seems that you are really not qualified. HMPH, don't be complacent, Uchiha Chen. A coldness flashed in Obito's eyes. He didn't believe Chen could crack this Chibaku Tensei, heavenly body bursting from the earth, so easily. I only saw Chen stretched out a hand, and the chakra in his hand spun rapidly, bursting out with the power of futon wind style. Rasenshuriken. Chen made a Rasenshuriken at random, and then looked up to the sky. Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. Although this ninjutsu is very powerful, it has a weakness. As long as I destroy the center core, then you can easily crack the Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth ninjutsu. While speaking, Tatsu threw the Rasenshuriken directly. A bang, because of the great attraction of Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth itself. Rasenshuriken can hit the very center of Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, almost without aiming. A loud bang came out. Only the most central core of the Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, was broken, and the Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, itself was also broken into powder, and the huge attraction disappeared, as if it had never been existed. However, the destructive power caused by this ninjutsu is really amazing. I can only see that within the range of Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, all the buildings and things are already dilapidated. Body bursting from the earth sucks away. Cracked my Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth. There was a hint of stunned look in Nagato's eyes, as expected of a teacher. HMPH, Nagato, we must be careful. His strength is too strong. Although Obito was not reconciled, he could only drink on the side. Chen shook his head and said in a low voice, "It's too late. For the sake of your strength, I'll let you see my Rinnegan strength." Don't worry, there will be no interruptions during the Chinese New Year. Update as usual, waiting for an opportunity to break out. 444 True Power. Open black lens bracket for automatic. Please subscribe close black lens bracket. Let you see the true power of my Rinnegan. Chen smiled faintly and moved violently. In an instant, Chen stretched out his hand, and Rinnegan's power was revealed. Rinnegan. Chen Rinnegan has the power to block the space, and the space within dozens of miles around his body seems to be reversed. In this space and area, it seems that Chen has become the only master, the real god. It's Rinnegan. The power of space. His Rinnegan even has a special ability that can block space. Obito is more Grandmaster Time-Space Ninjutsu than Nagato. After all, his avatar was originally one of these abilities, which made Obito very familiar with Time-Space Ninjutsu, and immediately decided that Chen's Rinnegan power actually came from Time-Space Ninjutsu. In an instant, both Obito and Nagato felt a huge force, which almost rose from the sky, and the strong power swept everything, with surging energy fluctuations, coming towards the two of them. Nagato and Obito wanted to dodge this attack, but surprisingly found that the power of space is invisible and invisible, even they can only defend, and it is difficult to dodge. It's useless. You are too naive. My Rinnegan is a special ability that can manipulate space. A unique space will appear within tens of miles around me, including all masters. Other words, in this space, I am God. Chen said lightly. Chen's Rinnegan power finally came to the fore. Although Nagato also has Rinnegan, Nagato's Rinnegan is not his own ability after all, so Nagato cannot use the special ability of Rinnegan at a deeper level. Such as Uchiha Madara's limbo border jail called Pervert. If you change to Uchiha Madara's limbo border jail power, I'm afraid you can still compete with Chen, but also Rinnegan. Nagato's Rinnegan is not owned by himself, so the power of Nagato's Rinnegan is greatly weakened, and only Bansho Tenon can be used. Universal Pull, Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign these common abilities. In a word, after all, it is not his own eyes, and Nagato still cannot master the power in it. Nagato wanted to use Rinnegan to resist, and Pain, who controlled Tenshindo, shouted, Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign. Tenshindo's Pain showed extremely strong strength, only to see a super-wide Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign manifested. Chakra swept frantically, forming a huge Uzumaki. Among the Uzumaki, belonged to the Long. The power of the door kept bursting out. Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign. Facing the Shinra Tensai, Almighty Push, sign of such a range, Chen was not in a hurry and gently stretched out his hand. I only saw that Chen used Rinnegan's ability to absorb all ninjutsu, and directly absorb the power of Shinra Tensei Almighty Push. Nagato prepared a large-scale Shinra Tensei Almighty Push which was directly Chen absorbed. Rinnegan's ability is special and can absorb ninjutsu, which is also very amazing. This super-wide Shinra Tensei Almighty Push sign is easy to crack. Was a faint panic in Nagato's eyes. His strength was not as good as Chen's, and Rinnegan, who he depended on the most, was also known to Akatsuki by Chen. Crack, how can this be played? What's more important is that all Rinnegan can unleash moves, and Chen is all master. And Chen is even more capable of Nagato Master's Rinnegan special ability. Such a powerful enemy is really terrifying. You lose. Chen's voice was like a judgment, making Nagato and Obito's faces sweaty, completely amazed, and even looked at Chen in shock. The gap between them and Chen is indeed getting bigger and bigger. The strength Chen showed had already completely shocked them. Chen waved his hand, only to see the power of space finally revealed. Senluo's domain. Chen let out a soft drink. The realm of Senluo. This is the name Chen named for his Rinnegan domain power, from the meaning of Shinra Bansho all creation. I can only see that around Chen, an invisible domain force spreads out, and the scope of the domain covers dozens of miles around. All the environment, affairs, etc. within these dozens of miles are affected by Chen. He can master any power in it, others can't move at all, and can only be at the mercy of Chen. Especially Obito. Obito felt that something was wrong, and immediately wanted to use his space ability to escape, but just after using the power of blur, he felt a huge pressure blowing, and the whole space seemed to be blocked in the same way. Although he was able to act, he became extremely slow, and could not help but turn pale. Obito's avatar ability can be said to be invincible, but this is the first time I have encountered it, and I never imagined that even action would become so difficult. I'm afraid that in Chen's realm of Senluo, Obito can only protect himself at best. As for Nagato, he was completely passive and couldn't move within the domain. In this state, he could feel that he was not Chen's opponent at all. Chen's Senluo's domain is very special, unless the opponent is a Six Paths. A level powerhouse, or a Grandmaster Yin and Yang escape, otherwise it is almost impossible to crack. Even ninjas like Obito and Nagato are severely restricted. Nagato, your Rinnegan is not yours after all, you can't exert your power, it's a pity. Chen whispered to himself, and at the same time, with a light finger, Ling Kong pointed at Nagato. Nagato suddenly felt a great pressure, spit out a mouthful of blood, and his face was pale. Chen had used Mangekyo's gravitational power just now, making Nagato hard to resist. That's the real power. Chen said lightly. The chakra of the Yangdun attribute in the body rose into the sky, unscrupulous, and surging frantically. This burst of chakra made Nagato and Obito feel frightened by it, and the battle in his heart was terrified. The meaning has faded a lot. Only then did they know how big the gap is with Chen. Ask for an automatic. Hey, do you have a Yuhi bag in the new year? I love you, haha. 445 The domain of Senluo. Open black lens bracket for automatic, please subscribe close black lens bracket. And Obito were pale, and they were taught by Chen a lot. More importantly, both Nagato and Obito saw Chen's strength, and an inexplicable thought arose in their hearts. We are really the opponent of this man in front of us. This is especially true of Obito. He originally admired Chen when he was in the Uchiha clan, and now, seeing Chen's methods, he couldn't help but be amazed. But he had no turning back. Infinite Tsukuyomi's plan, he has to realize it. A little lesson for you too, so that you can remember. Especially you, Obito. Chen glanced at Obito and said lightly, don't think that your little actions, I don't know, I can ignore the affairs of the water country. But if you want to fight the rain country again, don't blame me for being rude. Obito is now completely blinded by hatred, and he is not the hot-blooded boy in Chen's memory. Over the years, Obito's small actions have been seen by Chen. For example, the third generation of Mizukage in the country of water died inexplicably, and the three people, Jinchuriki column Riki Kureha, became the fourth generation of Mizukage, and this Kureha has always been taken by Obito. Sharingan hypnotic control. The current water country actually has many things in Obito's decision-making. These Chen are all in his eyes, but he doesn't want to move. The most important thing for Chen at the moment is to improve his strength and prepare for the future battle with Uchiha Madara, Senju Hashirama and even Kagaya Haim. Obito's petty fuss has nothing to do with the overall situation, and Chen also doesn't take it to heart. Don't take it to heart, it doesn't mean you don't know. How can Obito's little actions hide from Chen, you? Obito's tone was a little stunned, and then he said with relief, "It is indeed Uchiha Chen, the legend of the stars, the most outstanding person in our Uchiha family." "Oh, isn't Uchiha Madara the most outstanding person in the Uchiha clan?" Chen shrugged casually and looked at Obito. "Obito, your strength has grown over the years. It's a pity, it's a pity." Able to turn on Mangekyo Sharingan, and also possessing Avatar, Kamui's time-space ninjutsu, is enough to show the potential of Obito, but it's a pity that it was abandoned because of Rin. Obito and Nagato were still in Chen's Senra's domain, and the strong power of Senra's domain made both of them powerless to resist, and were temporarily suppressed by Chen. Hearing Uchiha Madara's name, Obito's eyes moved slightly. "Uchiha Chen, the mysterious person who was with Madara at the time is you. Sure enough, you have already started to plan everything, and even Madara admits that you are a more outstanding genius than him." "Oh yes, that's the prize." Chen smiled noncommittally, "But do you think that if you say so, I will easily spare your life?" Nagato's behavior was no different from betrayal, and he actually colluded with Obito, and the two still came together. Although for the current Chen, the two of them are not afraid of a joint force Chen, but he is still a little unhappy in his heart, and he does not intend to let Nagato and Obito go so easily. In the Senmuo realm of Chen, they looked at each other with the door, and they all saw the helplessness and bitterness of the other party. "I thought it would be like this now. Uchiha Chen, whatever. Believe it or not, we didn't plan to attack you from the beginning, since we know that you are the real controller of Akatsuki. Nagato and I just want to propose cooperation to you." Obito wrote. Chen squinted his eyes. It seemed to be down. Obito's way of dealing with it has always been. Obito also found Nagato to cooperate in the original work, and finally bewitched Nagato. "What qualifications and abilities do you have to cooperate with me?" Chen asked lightly. Obito was at a loss for words, but he bit Kiba and said, "Uchiha Chen, although you are powerful, you have seen the current situation in the ninja world. The current ninja world can be divided into three forces." Seeing Chen, Obito groaned and began to analyze gradually. The first force is the power of those great powers, such as Konoha, the Kingdom of Thunder, and Sunagakur. The power of these great powers can be said to be the strongest in the ninja world. Presumably your future purpose is similar to Madara's. If you want to unify the ninja world, then this great power is your biggest obstacle. The second force is the power left by Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara has laid out for so many years, and his infinite Tsukuyomi plan is very perfect. With my help, the infinite Tsukuyomi plan is definitely possible in the end. Obito bit Kiba and said. Chen's eyelids twitched slightly, and he complained in his heart, "Infinite Tsukuyomi is a complete whole, okay," and Kagaya Haim was not released in the end. Of course, according to the old man of six paths, Kagaya Haim's seal is loose. Breaking the seal is a matter of time, and this day will come sooner or later. The third force is the Akatsuki that you created by Uchiha Chen. The current Akatsuki are powerful enough to establish a country on their own. Coupled with your strength, you even have the power to conquer the 5 major countries. This is the last force in the ninja world. Obito looked at Chen with bright eyes. If our two forces work together to deal with the 5 major countries, I believe it will be a good choice. After all, there are a large number of people in the 5 major countries, and our original goals are the same. We are to first confuse the ninja world, and then achieve our respective goals. Obito spoke out about his plans. This guy, Obito, actually had the intention of looking for Chen to cooperate. Chen slightly narrowed his eyes, showing a hint of surprise. Obito. Chen spoke softly. Both Obito and Nagato looked at Tatsu, with a hint of hope in their eyes. You're right, but you don't know me at all. For me, the world of ninja is really within reach. Chen said indifferently. Do you think who can stop me in the 5 major countries now? Is it the 2-day scale Onoki, the old Sarutobi Hiruzen, or the I who just became the 4th generation Raikage, or that? The 4th generation Kazekage. Chen said a series of names in one breath, causing Obito and Nagato to change slightly. 446 Who are the heroes of the world? Open black lens bracket. Close black lens bracket. Chen uttered so many names in one breath, causing Nagato and Obito to look at Chen's eyes slightly, and their hearts moved slightly. Obito suddenly realized that Chen was right at all. With Chen's strength today, who can stop him for 2 days? Onoki can't, Sarutobi Hiruzen can't, I can't be 4 generations of Kazekage and Mizukage, let alone. For Chen, as long as he wants, he can completely rely on the pupil power of Eternal Mangekyo. It controls the current ninja world and even unifies the ninja world. This is not a particularly difficult thing for Chen. But Chen didn't do this, because Chen knew very well that when he had the strength, he could unify the ninja world at any time. But there is only one thing: after the unification of the ninja world, sooner or later, Kagaya Haim and Uchiha Madara will be faced, and in these changes. Face of this state, the unification of the ninja world is useless, and it will not be taken by one pot at that time. Therefore, the only way to improve one's own strength is to raise the strength to the level of 6 paths, and Chen will be able to cope with it easily. This is also the reason why Chen has been slow to move. So, Obito, why should I work with you? Chen looked at Obito coldly, with a hint of sarcasm on the corner of his mouth, and said coldly. Obito's eyes moved slightly, and when he heard Chen say that, his expression finally changed slightly. Chen is right at all. Why he should cooperate with Obito is completely unnecessary. Both Obito and Nagato were stunned. Both of them looked at Chen with a slightly stunned gaze, not knowing what to do. However, I can give you a chance to cooperate. Chen's words changed, and then he said indifferently. Obito's eyes lit up when he heard the play. But Chen shook his head and said, my cooperation is conditional. I cannot interfere with your actions, and even lend you some of Akatsuki's power, but there is only one condition, that is, you must all obey my instructions when necessary. Chen of course knew what Obito was thinking about, and to put it bluntly, Obito also wanted to use Chen's power to deal with the 5 kingdoms and disrupt the ninja world. And Chen also needs to borrow Obito's hand to advance the progress of the Hokage world, and finally control the release of Kagaya. Grasp your strength. So Chen is also using Obito. What's more, Chen still has Rin's trump card in his hand. Rin never died, but Chen used Chuck to continue his life. Chen is very clear about Obito's feelings for Rin. With this, Chen is sure that Obito will always be under his control. As for the ninja world, you can do whatever you want with Obito and Nagato, but Chen doesn't care for the time being anyway. Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara, who are currently eligible to be Chen's opponents, have both died, and Chen is invincible in the ninja world. Follow your orders. Obito frowned tightly, the corners of his mouth became cold, and he thought carefully. If Chen was controlling everything, it would mean that he was controlling Obito and thinking carefully, but the current situation is completely in Chen's hands, and he can't help it. And if the 2 sides cooperate, there is also beneficial for Obito's actions in the ninja world. After all, although as Obito said, there are currently 3 forces in the ninja world, but since Uchiha Madara is dead, Obito is the weakest force. At this time, Obito had to rely on Chen to act. Thinking of this, Obito's expression changed slightly, and he finally nodded slowly. I understand. Very good, the person who knows the current affairs is Junji. Chen said lightly. Obito snorted softly, while Nagato also sighed in relief. Afterwards, when they saw Chen put away the Senluo domain, Obito and Nagato only felt their whole bodies lighten, and at the same time Konan by Chen's side, and Kushina and Makoto in the distance also breathed a sigh of relief, finally relieved. Come here. The power of Senra's domain that Chen showed was too strong, not only made Obito jealous, but even the three daughters of Makoto, Kushina, and Konan were affected and affected. Under such circumstances, Chen put away the realm of Senluo, and only then did the three of them recover a lot. All of them sighed lightly, feeling that Chen's strength is really getting stronger and stronger. It is simply unfathomable. After getting Rinnegan, Chen's power has indeed reached an extremely terrifying level. Chen looked at Obito and Nagato and said, "You better not play tricks, or I will make you regret it." Huh. Obito was a little unconvinced, but he had to bow his head under the eaves. Nagato glanced at Chen, but remained silent. Chen knew that Nagato and Obito would not make waves again for a while, especially Obito, who was gradually under Chen's control. Under such circumstances, Chen finally felt relieved, although Obito and Nagato had other careful thoughts, but fortunately, under Chen's eyes, Chen was completely in control. At this point, Obito has finally joined Akatsuki. Over the years, Obito has also been recruiting ninjas and missing nins from various countries, and has also gained a lot, such as the ghost shark from the land of water. At this time, Obito has been in close contact with Obito. Obito plans to add these people to Akatsuki to conspire. Plan. Chen is tossing about Obito, everything is developing in the direction of the plot. Chen cares about is not the current Akatsuki. With Chen's strength, don't worry about this, he is concerned about another thing. With the passing of time, in the blink of an eye, time has passed, and it has been a long time since Minato's death. Chen is preparing for another thing. With the passage of time, the night of Uchiha's genocide is coming. The Uchiha family, as in the original plot, finally began to go to destruction. Chen squinted his eyes and stood on the tower, looking up at the night sky. Current Uchiha clan actually joined Akatsuki with Tatsu, and followed Tatsu. In such a situation, the Uchiha members who remained in Konoha were actually less than one-third of the original ones, but even so, on the night of Konoha's genocide, they finally came. And 447 Danzo and Uchiha exterminate the clan. Please automatic, please subscribe. Time flies by. With Chen's preparations, several years have passed in a blink of an eye, and the ninja world has calmed down a lot in these years. The Kingdom of Rain is deliberately isolated from the world under the management of Chen. In the eyes of the 5 major countries, the Kingdom of Rain has become one of the most mysterious countries, but fortunately Chen has not acted, so the 5 countries have, although he had some precautions against the Land of Rain, he did not pay enough attention to it. And Chen has secretly prepared a lot in these years. First, Chen channeled Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, and used the chakra of Geto Mazo, demonic statue of the outer path, to secretly take care of Rin and maintain Rin's life to deal with Obito. Obito didn't know about this at all, and he didn't know that Tatsu still had such a whole card in his hand, and was still thinking about his infinite Tsukuyomi plan. Rin's life was saved by Chen, but it was not yet time to control Obito, so Chen also concealed the fact that Rin was still alive for a while, and watched Obito's little actions with cold eyes. Anyway, everything was under Chen's eyes, and Chen was confident enough to control Obito and Nagato. Time goes by, time flies. In a blink of an eye, the night of the genocide was really getting closer. Regardless of whether it's Naruto or Sasuke, both should have already gone to Jonin's school by now. At present, Sasuke's age should be 7 years old and 7, and Naruto is similar, only a few months younger than Sasuke. Chen sighed slightly, looked at Konoha, a faint smile appeared on the corner of his mouth, and he didn't know whether he was missing or grinning. Konoha, looks like I'm going to go to Konoha again. Konan's three daughters followed Chen's side, and when they saw Chen's expression, they knew what Chen was thinking, just that Chen was planning to go to Konoha recently. Presumably at this time, Obito had already moved and sneaked into Konoha quietly. Chen's eyes moved slightly, and he said, Konan, Akatsuki's affairs are temporarily in charge of you, I'm going to Konoha. Konan's three girls secretly said, and at the same time Makoto seemed to feel something, and whispered in Chen's ear, Brother Chen, if you go to Konoha, is there something wrong with the Uchiha family? Chen Yi was stunned, and can only say that the sixth sense of a woman is really very keen, and she actually noticed some clues, so this time the Uchiha family rebellion is imminent, the future Uchiha family is worried, I am afraid that it will eventually go to the same destruction as in the original book. But this is also the choice of the Uchiha people, especially Uchiha Fugaku and others. Chen didn't want to interfere too much with this. Chen had given them all opportunities, but they chose this path without hesitation. Chen's chance is not just given. Chen looked at Makoto and whispered. It will be dealt with. Looking at Makoto's pleading eyes, Chen couldn't help but soften his heart, stroked Makoto's hair, and said softly, "Won me." Well. Hearing Chen's words, Makoto finally felt relieved, and looked at Chen lightly, his eyes softened. Chen smiled, took Makoto Chen and said, Chen's figure flashed, and he left the country of rain. Under the rainy sky, Chen's figure is fleeting. Disappear. Konoha. Chen Shanting strolled and walked to the Uchiha clan's land. His hidden aura was already top-notch. With Chen's current strength, unless he wanted to take the initiative to reveal it, no one would be able to find it. The Uchiha family, the ancestral hall of Nenga Shrine. Inside the shrine, nearly 100 members of the Uchiha clan gathered together, and the leader was impressively the contemporary head of the Uchiha clan in Konoha, and the head of the house appointed by Chen, Uchiha Fugaku. Uchiha Fugaku rallies with all current core members of the Uchiha clan. Everyone was talking, and the voices were heard in Chen's ears. Damn, now the higher-ups are becoming more and more vigilant towards our Uchiha clan, especially after the Kyuubi Nine Tails incident. Minato dies, Danzo takes over. Yeah, originally when Minato was Hokage, because of Tatsu-sama, there were many Buddha photos for our Uchiha family, and he kept suppressing Danzo. It's a shame that 4 generations of Minato have died and Danzo is back in power. Another clan member resented, and his words attracted the echo of many people. Chen's heart moved. It turned out that Minato had done so many things unknowingly, and Chen couldn't help sighing. After the last Kyuubi Nine Tails incident, the high-level people are even more suspicious of us. It is really hateful to suppress our family led by Danzo, Homura Mitokado and others. Yeah, I think that the only power that can manipulate Kyuubi Nine Tails is the Uchiha clan, and Tatsu-sama is also. Several people of the Uchiha family mentioned Chen's name with respect and regret. Uchiha Fugaku coughed softly. Okay, shut up, think about what we should do now and continue in this situation, our Uchiha family is worried. Of course there is only resistance, and I suggest supporting the rebellion. I agree, the high-level bullying is too much. I agree too. These Uchiha clan members have long had the heart of rebellion, and at this time, under the incitement of the atmosphere, they all agreed. In the crowd, Chen saw a familiar figure. Uchiha Shisui. I saw Shisui frown slightly, looked at the fanatical Uchiha clan around him, and sighed softly. If that's the case, let's have a good discussion and launch a coup. Uchiha Fugaku said seriously. There are several reasons why Uchiha Fugaku's rebellious heart is so determined at this time. At present, the Uchiha family is indeed forced to the edge of the cliff. Another reason is that Uchiha Fugaku finally found out the cause of his father Uchiha Ming's death. It was indeed a conspiracy designed by Danzo to deliberately sell the information to the country of water, which caused the Uchiha family to suffer heavy losses, and Uchiha Ming died at the same time. If it wasn't for Tatsu's timely rescue, the Uchiha ninja army would have been wiped out. Therefore, Uchiha Fugaku hates Danzo to the core and intends to launch a coup. Please automatically and a reward. Watermelon thanks. 448 Unstoppable Rebellion. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. The sky of Konoha, filled with haze, is brewing an unstoppable rebellion. The Uchiha tribe is over. Uchiha Shisui came out of the clan meeting, still in contemplation, bowed his head, and sighed softly. How can things be brewing like this? Is there still room for recovery, and what should I do? Uchiha Shisui's heart was confused. He was walking on the road dumbfounded, stumbled, lost his soul, and was in extreme contradiction. Uchiha Shisui wanted peace in Konoha, but he didn't want the Uchiha family to suffer losses. He was thinking about a solution in his mind, and suddenly thought of a person, as if he had caught a life-saving straw, and said, "Yes, I will go to the 3 generations of adults, let the 3 generations of adults help." Uchiha Shisui hurried away and went to find the 3 generations of Hokage. Chen watched Shisui's movements and noticed that Uchiha Shisui went to see the 3rd generation of Hokage, but he didn't stop it, just watched it all quietly. Uchiha Shisui quietly entered the Hokage building and came out after a full morning. Presumably the 3rd generation of Hokage was also surprised by the news and was preparing. At the same time, Chen noticed that behind Uchiha Shisui, there has always been a mysterious route. Members of the organization followed him, and it seemed that Danzo had been eyeing Shisui. The old guy Danzo is afraid that he is always paying attention to Uchiha's actions, and he is afraid that he has already noticed the traces of rebellion in the Uchiha family, but he just lacks a breakthrough. The current Uchiha Shisui is the best breakthrough. Danzo. Chen murmured the name, frowning slightly, and there was a coldness between his words. Soon, Uchiha Shisui's meeting with the 3 generations of Hokage was reported to Danzo by the ninja of the Root organization, and Danzo knew about it. The current Danzo, after Minato's death, finally regained his Master Roots organization, regained master power, and closely monitored Uchiha's every move. When Danzo learned that Uchiha Shisui met Sarutobi Hiruzen, a playful look appeared in his eyes, and he informed his subordinates, "Let Uchiha Shisui come to see me." It's Mr. Danzo. Root. The people are all actionists, and soon found Uchiha Shisui and asked Uchiha Shisui to meet him. Uchiha Shisui was upset about the Uchiha rebellion at this time, and was shocked when he heard the news that Danzo was looking for him, but he followed the words, but there was something in his heart. Danzo and Uchiha Shisui met. Uchiha Shisui saw Danzo, with a bit of vigilance in his eyes on one knee, and the 3 tomo twirled gently in the Sharingan, a bloody color. The surrounding terrain is full of trees, living and suitable for ambush, and the surrounding is quiet and terrible, making Uchiha Shisui secretly vigilant. Lord Danzo. Uchiha Shisui was very respectful to Danzo. After all, Danzo's status in Konoha is not low. Uchiha Shisui, instant Shisui. Danzo looked at Shisui with a complicated expression, and said, "I once reported to Hiruzen, and you went to Hiruzen to report some confidential matters. I heard that you were the closest to Uchiha's about the recent movement, right?" "Yes." Uchiha Shisui breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed that the other party was indeed here to talk to him about business. Under such circumstances, Shisui was willing to chat with Danzo. "I already knew that the Uchiha clan rebellion was imminent. I think you should also know very well that the Uchiha family has no chance of winning," Danzo said lightly. Danzo has been paying close attention to the situation of the Uchiha family, because Danzo is also very clear that when he designed the Uchiha underworld, it is likely to be exposed, and the Uchiha family will definitely make waves, so Danzo actually plans to deal with the Uchiha family secretly. Shisui heard Danzo say this, and immediately said, "Danzo-sama, the matter is not that serious, I have already reported it to the 3rd generation." The rebellion of the Uchiha clan cannot be stopped by conventional means. If necessary, I will use my Sharingan power to suppress the rebellion, and the 3 generations have agreed. Oh, your Sharingan power. Danzo is very interested. You said that you are the strongest among the younger generation known as the Uchiha clan. You must be extraordinary. Think about it. After all, you can be regarded as that person's disciple. Danzo paused slightly when he said, that person. And Uchiha Shisui was also slightly taken aback. Of course the person Danzo was talking about was Chen, considering that Uchiha Shisui was once taught by Chen, and even Shisui's instant art and some demonic illusions were instructed by Chen himself. Thinking of this, Danzo felt irritable. Uchiha Chen was like a big rock in his heart. Nothing can be erased. When he thought that Uchiha Shisui was also Chen's former disciple, Danzo's heart also burst into a nameless fire. Uchiha Shisui, you said you were going to use your Sharingan power to change this rebellion, but I have a hard time believing you. Your Sharingan's power is called Kotoamatsukami, isn't it? This power is too dangerous, and you're afraid you can't use him alone. Danzo leaned on his cane and clenched the cane tightly, as if he had made some kind of decision, said lightly. Lord Danzo, please believe me, the 3 generations have agreed to my plan. I will definitely get the job done. Uchiha Shisui said respectfully to Danzo. Uchiha Shisui prepared to leave. But at this moment, Danzo sneered. Uchiha Shisui, your explanation makes me hard to believe. And Sharingan is too dangerous for you. I will accept this Sharingan. Danzo roared angrily, hammered the ground with his crutches, and slammed towards Uchiha Shisui. Uchiha Shisui was already alert, but when Tomo turned his eyes, he suddenly released demonic illusion. The novelty plot, is not to be missed. 449 Death of Shisui, Mangekyo of Uchiha Itachi. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Uchiha Shisui wasn't stupid either. He was secretly vigilant, and at this time he released demonic illusion and met Danzo's eyes. Uchiha Shisui's demonic illusion is taught by Chen himself. Although it is not as powerful as Chen's demonic illusion, it is not difficult to hypnotize Danzo for a while under the power of his Mangekyo. Only seeing Danzo's body stagnant, the original attacking situation suddenly stopped, and he lay softly on the ground. At this time, Shisui quickly supported Danzo's fallen body, sighed softly, and said to himself, Lord Danzo, don't blame me. Shisui subdued Danzo, heaved a sigh of relief, and was about to leave, when a sudden change occurred. Only to see Danzo, who had fallen down, suddenly appeared behind Shisui. Uchiha Shisui, you are using Sharingan on this old man, you are really daring. Ah, I'll take your Sharingan. Danzo made a sudden movement and grabbed Uchiha Shisui's right eye. Uchiha Shisui screamed, blood gushing out from his right eye, a sharp pain. Under such circumstances, Uchiha Shisui endured the severe pain in his right eye and used the telekinesis technique to distance himself from Danzo. Instant technique. Danzo sneered at the corners of his mouth, and even rushed forward, wanting to chase. However, Uchiha Shisui was chased by Danzo, and he still used the technique of blinking to avoid Danzo's pursuit. Uchiha Shisui's instant body technique is very strong, and his speed is first class, even stronger than Danzo. Danzo chased after him several times, and after several attempts, he couldn't catch up with Uchiha Shisui's speed. He was secretly angry, but he had no choice but to watch Uchiha Shisui leave. Damn, this is worthy of that person's disciple, this instant technique is really powerful. Danzo was extremely annoyed, but opened his palm again, holding a one Sharingan in it. Finally got it, this Sharingan. This time, maybe I can have the same power as Uchiha-sen. Quote. Danzo muttered, a frenzy flashed in his eyes. Shisui ran away quickly, feeling the slightest pain in his right eye, and was extremely disappointed with Danzo in his heart. Fortunately, my left eye is still. I'm afraid I won't be able to stop the rebellion this time, and my Sharingan will definitely attract the covet of Danzo and others, but it will be a disaster at that time. I have to give the left eye to Itachi. Uchiha Shisui secretly said that among all the clansmen, the person he trusted most was Uchiha Itachi. Shisui thought of the entrusted person, and quickly contacted Uchiha Itachi in his own unique way. At this time, he could see clearly the true face of Danzo, and how wary the senior officials of Yi were towards the Uchiha family. Only then did he understand how difficult it was to want peace. At this time, his half-disabled body has a limited effect, so he wants to entrust everything to Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Shisui and Uchiha Itachi met on weekdays. It was in front of a cliff. The sound of rushing water came, waiting for Uchiha Itachi's arrival. Didn't take long for a figure to be Uchiha Itachi dressed in a black suit, trying his best to hide his breath. At this time, Tatsuya finally saw Itachi's appearance, and it was the same as in the original book. It looked extremely cold. The pair of Sharingan 3 Tomo moved slightly and stared at Uchiha Shisui. Shisui, what do you want from me? Uchiha Itachi's voice came. While he was a little confused, he suddenly noticed Shisui's eyes, and his body suddenly stopped. I saw Shisui's right eye was hollow with blood, and Shisui's body also had several large and small scars, which made Uchiha Itachi stunned. How can this be, Shisui, your eyes? Uchiha Itachi cried out in surprise, with a look of astonishment on his face. Uchiha Shisui smiled flatly. Don't worry, I'm fine for now. It's Danzo. I wanted to use the power of Koto Amatsukami to stop the Uchiha clan's rebellion this time, but I didn't expect it to turn out like this. Danzo doesn't trust me at all, and he has his own ideas. Itachi, the only person I can trust now is you. Shisui sighed softly. My Sharingan has already attracted the attention of Danzo and others. I'm afraid they won't let me go. What a pity. I wanted to change the status quo in the Uchiha clan, but it was too late. Now I can only entrust this hope to you. I give you my Sharingan's left eye. I hope you can make good use of this power. The Uchiha family has nowhere to go now. Itachi, I choose to end my life, and the rest is up to you. Hope you can find other ways to stop this rebellion. Uchiha Shisui whispered. Uchiha Shisui snapped his left eye off, and blood spurted out, which made Uchiha Itachi move, and subconsciously took the left eye that Uchiha Shisui handed over. The Sharingan was clearly visible, but it had a bloody smell, which made Uchiha Itachi feel extremely heavy for a while, and even sighed softly. Uchiha Shisui took a few steps back, took a deep look at Uchiha Itachi's direction, and whispered, "Farewell, Itachi." Uchiha Shisui jumped backwards and plunged into the abyss. Uchiha Shisui jumped into the abyss, and the rushing river quickly drowned his body, and Uchiha Shisui disappeared. Uchiha Itachi subconsciously wanted to stop Shisui's death, but after all, it was a step too late, and he could only watch Uchiha Itachi die. Uchiha Itachi stared at the river below the cliff, where Shisui's figure had already disappeared, and Uchiha Itachi was completely stunned. Uchiha Shisui is almost the most important person to Itachi, his brother and his mentor. The two are both teachers and friends. Uchiha Itachi's demonic illusion, ninjutsu, and many others were taught to him by Shisui. Now, Shisui died in front of Uchiha Itachi. Thinking of this, a great negative energy erupted in Uchiha Itachi's heart, and this energy was continuously stimulated, which made Uchiha Itachi's eyes change. It's so hard, crying. 450 Shira Road. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Mangekyo Sharingan. I saw a huge negative energy rising from Uchiha Itachi's body. This energy burst out and accumulated, resulting in great and strong Uzumaki. Uzumaki flowed, and Uchiha Itachi's chakra began to grow explosively, which led to the enhancement of his strength. Uchiha Itachi's previous strength can be called a quasi-cage level powerhouse. After opening Mangekyo, his ability is to become a cage level powerhouse. Only seeing the strength of Uchiha Itachi run wild, the three tomo in his eyes began to spin wildly, and finally formed a pattern similar to a boomerang, and the eyes of Mangekyo emerged spontaneously. Mangekyo is the eye of spiritual reflection, which will generate corresponding abilities according to the wishes of the current host. At this time, the first of Uchiha Itachi's wishes is an urgent desire to change all the facts in front of him and to manipulate everything. Demonic illusion, Tsukuyomi, that can change everything. In the face of the upcoming rebellion within the clan, Uchiha Itachi hopes to have power, so he gets the strongest physical attack, Amaterasu. These two abilities became Uchiha Itachi's eye ability. Tsukuyomi, Amaterasu. Chen squinted his eyes. Amaterasu's ability is the same as his Sharingan ability. However, Tsukuyomi's ability is quite special, capable of performing super demonic illusion. Uchiha Itachi got these two new powers, his expression moved slightly, and he finally recovered from his dazed state. Then he looked at the cliff in front of him coldly, sighed softly, and finally left resolutely. Uchiha Itachi has completely changed after getting Mangekyo Sharingan. Uchiha Itachi returns to the clan. And Chen narrowed his eyes, watching Shisui's body washed away by the river. At this time Chen finally stood up. Chen sighed softly and whispered to himself, Shisui, it's a pity. But don't worry, I will help you get revenge. Chen has also taught Shisui. Shisui has always respected Chen. Seeing Shisui's death, Chen was still somewhat touched. In the days that followed, the situation in Konoha became more chaotic. Although the current bottom level is not aware of Uchiha's upcoming rebellion, in fact, the top of Konoha is completely vigilant. Root, Hokage's direct subordinate Anbu, as well as 3 generations of Hokage, Danzo and others have all begun to discuss secretly, why? To resolve Uchiha's rebellion. At this moment, Uchiha's rebellion is finally about to begin. At the same time, Uchiha Itachi walks into the sight of Danzo and the 3 generations of Hokage. Uchiha Itachi's thoughts at this time are still a little naive, or in other words, Uchiha Itachi is a person who is willing to give everything for peace. Under such circumstances, Uchiha came forward, and after the fiercest ideological struggle, Uchiha Itachi made the most important choice. Sacrifice the Uchiha clan and keep Konoha safe. Uchiha Itachi has endured all the pain and carried all the things he should not carry, and resolutely walked towards this road of Shura. This is destined to be lonely, only one person can make the way. Inside the Hokage building. Uchiha Itachi Quiet Station. Standing, in front, are Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo, and there are more than a dozen Anbu wearing masks. The expression is not clear, and the atmosphere is cold. Itachi, it's all up to you. Danzo spoke slowly and said lightly, if you don't succeed in this matter, I will hand it over to Gen, and the other Anbu to deal with the Uchiha clan. I see. Uchiha Itachi's voice gradually became indifferent, but Chen could clearly hear a trace of lingering pain in his voice. The final decision on this road, how easy is it? But 3 generations of adults, I have a request, I hope you can spare my brother, Uchiha Sasuke. Uchiha Itachi's voice came out, and with a hint of anticipation, he made a condition. Uchiha Itachi until this moment, the one who misses most in his heart is still Uchiha Sasuke. Sarutobi Hiruzen pondered for a long time, finally agreed, took a hard puff on his pipe, and nodded. Getting Sarutobi Hiruzen's promise, Uchiha Itachi was relieved. After struggling with his eyes several times, he finally made up his mind and clenched the ninja sword in his hand. Chen sighed inwardly. In fact, Uchiha Itachi or Uchiha Shisui can't be blamed for this incident, they are just victims in the crack between Konoha and Uchiha. What really led to the downfall of Uchiha was the isolation policy of Uchiha implemented by the 2nd generation Hokage Senju Tobirama. Then leave it to you. Danzo said lightly. Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his mouth to say something, but finally put his hand down. He knew that things were irreversible. When this step has been reached, it is destined that Konoha will completely lose the Uchiha family from today. Uchiha Itachi turned away without any hesitation. In the Hokage building, only Sarutobi Hiruzen's Sai and Danzo's gloomy expression remained. When Uchiha Itachi leaves, Obito finally shows up. As in the original, Obito pretends to be Uchiha Madara and offers a deal to Uchiha Itachi. He helps Uchiha Itachi to exterminate the clan, and the condition is to collect a part of the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. In this case, Uchiha Itachi opened Mangekyo Sharingan, but he was still unable to exterminate the clan by himself. He could only agree to the conditions that Obito put forward, but he secretly paid attention to this man who called himself Uchiha Madara. Time gradually passed. This day is no different from an ordinary day. But it is destined to become Konoha, and even a page in the history of the entire ninja world. The night of Uchiha's genocide has finally come. This day, Uchiha Sasuke, who is only 7 years old, still hasn't returned from the ninja school, but night has gradually fallen. Uchiha Itachi was ready for everything. He was wearing a Jonin knife, the corners of his mouth were a little bit cold, his eyes were still struggling a bit, and he finally made a decision after a while. It's time. Representing the god of death, rang, and the bell sounded, but Uchiha Itachi disappeared in place. The killing has begun. 451 Blood Moon and Tsukuyomi open black lens bracket for automatic, please subscribe close black lens bracket. Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Obito team up. These two are both cage-level powerhouses, the superpowers who opened up Mangekyo Sharingan. The killing begins. Uchiha Itachi himself seemed to be paralyzed, wielding a ninja sword in his arm and moving at night. With every stroke of his ninja sword, a figure fell, and blood splashed out at the same time. At night, everyone does not have much defense. What's more, the Uchiha clan has arranged the spirit ninjutsu outside the clan. As for the clan, who would have thought that there would be such a special betrayal? With the cooperation of Uchiha Itachi and Obito, the Uchiha clan has a total of more than 100 people, and they died quickly. This night, the Uchiha clan's land was terrifying as if it had become an Asura field. After Uchiha Itachi first killed a young man in his clan, even his hands were shaking slightly. The young clan had a good relationship with him before, but now he died under his sword. The blood was still warm, and this feeling made Uchiha Itachi suffer every moment. Uchiha Itachi clenched Kiba's teeth, feeling that it was difficult to even breathe for a while, and the pain he suffered was even more terrifying than the dead. Uchiha Itachi, do you really regret it? There, Obito also killed 2 Uchiha clansmen and got their Sharingan, so he asked Uchiha Itachi indifferently. Uchiha Itachi didn't speak, his eyes they were a little empty, and at this moment seemed to completely restrain his feelings. Uchiha Itachi seemed to be numb at this time, and subconsciously raised his ninja sword and killed one of Uchiha's clansmen again. Blood splashed out, and the crescent moon in the sky seemed to be stained with blood. Blood moon, Shira. Obito looked at Uchiha Itachi's movements and was slightly startled, with a complex look in his eyes. He could understand Uchiha Itachi's pain, because Obito at that time also experienced the pain of losing a loved one. It was because of understanding that Obito's determination to realize infinite Tsukuyomi's plan became stronger and stronger. This is hell. Obito groaned, the expression on his face could not be seen clearly, but the movements in his hands were quicker. Finally, the surrounding Uchiha people are almost all dead. At the same time, the lights in the rooms belonging to the Patriarch's courtyard were already on. Uchiha Fugaku has obviously noticed it, and Uchiha Fugaku seems to have been prepared in his heart, facing all this very plainly. It's actually Itachi. Did he finally make a choice? He actually chose this path, no matter what. With a smile of relief on his face, Uchiha Fugaku gently shook his head. While Uchiha Itachi finally looked towards Uchiha Fugaku's room, his face twitched slightly, flashing a look of struggle, but he finally walked to Uchiha Fugaku's room step by step. However, Uchiha Itachi's fingertips were trembling slightly, as if he had exhausted all his strength. Seeing this, Obito sighed lightly, and had already disappeared. This time, Obito's goal was basically achieved. He collected a lot of Sharingan, and also had contact with Itachi. He wanted to enter Akatsuki. Obito evaded away with a blur. I don't know that Chen is watching all this. With Chen's current strength, even Obito, who has a blur, can't find it. Inside Uchiha Fugaku's room. Uchiha Fugaku and his wife looked at Uchiha Itachi calmly. Itachi, you are here. Uchiha Fugaku looked at Itachi. His eyes were the same as usual, as if he didn't know what Uchiha Itachi was doing. Father. Uchiha Itachi moved his lips and wanted to speak, but he lost his voice after only saying 2 words. Itachi, you still chose this path after all. Sometimes it's harder to live than to die, and I'm proud of you for the path you chose. Uchiha Fugaku rode. Uchiha Itachi hesitated. At this moment he felt that his strength was withdrawn from his body for a moment, and he couldn't even hold the knife. Why are you still standing still? How can you hesitate if you haven't touched my Uchiha-san? Think of the legend of the stars back then, how high-spirited it was, and how it was in the world of ninja. Uchiha Fugaku scolded the lesson, as if facing death calmly. Fugaku has already seen the success of the king and defeated the bandit, but he has some regrets in his heart. After all, he did not revitalize the Uchiha family. But fortunately, the Uchiha clan is still not extinct. Yu-chen led most of the clan to leave Konoha and thought of this place. Uchiha Fugaku was finally relieved. Uchiha Itachi is still hesitating. Itachi, do it. Uchiha Fugaku's wife also scolded. Uchiha Fugaku's wife is not Makoto, of course, is an ordinary-looking Uchiha tribe, but at this time also faced death calmly. Uchiha Itachi's expression changed several times, and finally he bit Kiba and raised his ninja sword. Knife falls. 2 lines of blood spattered out. A touch of moisture appeared in Uchiha Itachi's eyes, and he quietly stood there for a while before leaving. Uchiha Itachi has one more thing to do. He still remembers Uchiha Sasuke who was attending ninja school, Uchiha Sasuke who was only 7 years old. Uchiha Itachi moved and used the instant technique to hurry, and soon he arrived at the ninja school and the only way to the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Itachi is here waiting for Sasuke. He wants to see Sasuke one last time before leaving the village. Sasuke is out of school. At this time, Sasuke finally came back, and his little face was still a little excited. Today I finally learned the technique of shuriken. It's too late to practice. At this time, my parents are probably waiting for me. When Sasuke came home, he inadvertently looked up at the telephone pole and felt that the shadow of his brother Itachi seemed to be on it, but after a look, he disappeared again, and he was suddenly puzzled. Soon, Sasuke arrived at the clan of the Uchiha clan. Except for Uchiha Fugaku and his wife, the bodies of other clansmen have been disposed of by Obito, so the clan looks extraordinarily quiet, eerily quiet. Sasuke instinctively felt that something was wrong. He opened the door, and then there was a heart-piercing exclamation. Dad, Mom. More. 452 Yongdun's vitality, last wish. Sasuke saw the corpses of Uchiha Fugaku and his wife. He let out a heart-piercing scream. Sasuke never imagined such a scene, and was completely stunned. At this time, the figure of Uchiha Itachi appeared. I only saw Uchiha Itachi looking at Sasuke, but Sasuke looked at Uchiha Itachi as if he saw a life-saving straw. Brother, what's going on? Why do parents do it? I killed it. Itachi said calmly. What? Sasuke was stunned, and the crying stopped abruptly. I killed them, including all the clansmen I killed. Uchiha Itachi said lightly. Brother, why are you doing these things? Sasuke couldn't accept it for a while, was on the verge of collapse, and asked subconsciously. Uchiha Itachi said lightly, it's to measure my own Measurement. Sasuke was still in a daze, completely incomprehensible, tears still running down his face. Stupid brother, how can you understand? Well, I'll show you the power of Sharingan. Uchiha Itachi's expression became icy and became ruthless, speaking lightly. Instant, Sasuke was indifferent and ruthless, the three tomo in his eyes showed, changed into the shape of a dart, and used Tsukuyomi on Sasuke. Tsukuyomi. Sasuke is completely immersed in Tsukuyomi's demonic illusion, and he sees him in the demonic illusion space, where all time, mass, and gravity are completely controlled by Uchiha Itachi. In this demonic illusion, Uchiha Itachi's Tsukuyomi power is on full display. Scenes of Uchiha Itachi killing the clansmen just now were completely replayed, flashing like movie clips, all appearing in front of Sasuke. The grandparents in the clan who were close to him on weekdays died, the respected elders died, his friends died, and even his parents died in front of him. Sasuke, who witnessed all this in demonic illusion, collapsed directly. For a child who is only 7 years old, he has no idea what the hell is going on, but he can only see one by one his close relatives die at his hands. Again, there is an overwhelming sense of grief and a piercing sense of betrayal. How could his favorite brother on weekdays become like this? No, no, stop. Sasuke cried and cried helplessly. A strong negative emotion poured out, making Sasuke's eyes become Sharingan unconsciously. Sharingan opened his eyes unknowingly, and Uchiha Itachi, who witnessed all this, finally achieved his goal. The reason why Sasuke uses Tsukuyomi, Uchiha Itachi, is to make Sasuke hate himself, in order to bury the truth of the Uchiha clan rebellion. The second is to use the negative emotions to help and give Sasuke the last strength. Everything was accomplished, and Uchiha Itachi finally got his wish. It's time to leave. Stupid brother, hate me, and live on, when you have the same eyes as mine. Come find me again. Uchiha Itachi whispered in front of Sasuke, who was already emotionally broken down. Sasuke stood dumbfounded, tears streaming down his face. He was hit by too much stimulation and fainted directly. Sasuke lay in the room, completely fainted. And Uchiha Itachi took a deep look at Sasuke and finally made a decision. He took out his Konoha forehead guard, used all his strength to make a scratch on the forehead guard, bit Kiba, and flashed away. Go. From then on, he was just a Konoha missing nin. Uchiha Itachi left. Chen witnessed all this with his own eyes, and sighed slightly in his heart. The Uchiha family had more than 100 undead souls overnight. Although these people had nothing to do with Chen, they were still members of the Uchiha family. Emotion. The Uchiha clan was finally wiped out. Chen's figure was revealed. He walked in front of Uchiha Fugaku, reached out to touch, felt Uchiha Fugaku's pulse, and his heart moved slightly. Uchiha Fugaku is not completely dead yet. In other words, Uchiha Fugaku is currently dead, but Chen still senses a trace of his vitality through Rinnegan. Of course, it is impossible to save. Although it can't be saved, it is still possible to let Uchiha Fugaku say his last wishes. Thinking of this, Chen's heart moved, and a huge Yangdun chakra passed through Uchiha Fugaku's body. The power of Yangdun, Master, is alive, and controls life and death. In the original work, after Naruto was taught the power of Yang escape by the old six paths in the later period, he could even create an eye for Kakashi. Soon, I saw that Uchiha Fugaku's body finally regained a faint vitality. Uchiha Fugaku opened his eyes with difficulty and weakness, but he was just like a gossamer. Fugaku. Chen said softly. Chen is you. Uchiha Fugaku widened his eyes suddenly, looked at Chen in disbelief, and only showed a bitter smile. I'm sorry, Chen, I let you down. My homeowner is completely unqualified. That's it, no more words needed. Chen glanced at Fugaku and said softly, I don't know if you still have a last wish. Although Uchiha Fugaku was temporarily extended by Chen's Yangdun power, it could only last for a minute or two at most. Uchiha Fugaku glanced at Sasuke beside him and said intermittently, "Please, please help me take care of Sasuke at the right time." "I'll try my best, what else?" Chen frowned slightly and asked again. "I." A deep hatred flashed in Uchiha Fugaku's eyes. "If you can you please help me kill Danzo?" "Good." Receiving Chen's answer, Uchiha Fugaku seemed to have put down a heavy burden, and showed a serene smile. "Chen, thank you very much. The Uchiha clan is fortunate to have you." While speaking, Uchiha Fugaku finally closed his eyes. And with a smile. "Thanks for the rewards from friends such as senior actors." 453 Chen's decision to kill Danzo. Uchiha Fugaku closed his eyes, and after getting Chen's promise, he finally ended with a smile. Uchiha Fugaku's body gradually became cold, and he really died completely. Chen sighed softly and watched Uchiha Fugaku die. "Farewell, Uchiha," Chen muttered to himself, in a low voice. Uchiha Fugaku died peacefully, as if he was sure that Chen would fulfill his last wish, without any regrets. Chen gently put down Uchiha Fugaku's body. Uchiha Fugaku and his wife died. Chen glanced at Sasuke who was lying on the ground next to him, only to see that Sasuke was in a coma at this time and still muttered, "Brother, stop, don't want father, mother." Sasuke still looked panicked, looking very frightened, still immersed in the nightmare just now. For a child who is only 7 years old, this is a memory that is like a collapse. This memory and Tsukuyomi's power left an incomparably deep impression on Sasuke, fearing that it would become Sasuke's nightmare, and it would be difficult to recover from the nightmare. Chen left the hut. The surrounding air seems to be filled with a kind of bloody smell, which cannot be eliminated. The moon in the sky seems to be a blood moon. The moon is like a blood moon, cold and lonely. Every time Chen took a step, he felt that there was a lot less anger in Uchiha's house. The bustling and prosperous Uchiha's house in the past was now completely lonely. Fortunately, Chen had brought most of the Uchiha clan to Akatsuki, so in this state, the Uchiha clan was not completely cut off. "It's over," Chen muttered to himself, and immediately walked to the ancestral hall of the Uchiha family. Scenery is still the same, but the person is no longer that person. The era of Uchiha has changed, from the initial glory, heyday, to the gradual loneliness, and even to the current era of extermination. The era of Uchiha has ended. The death of Uchiha Fugaku, the death of the Great Elder, the death of Uchiha Shisui, the death of hundreds of people, and the death of hundreds of dead souls, is finally over. At this point, both Uchiha Itachi and Obito have left Konoha village. Uchiha Itachi becomes missing Nin and has nowhere to go. And Obito collected a large amount of Sharingan as a backup to achieve the goal, and at the same time, he also took revenge on the Uchiha family for Uchiha Madara. Uchiha Madara even has hatred for Uchiha's family, because the original Uchiha betrayed him and let Uchiha Madara leave Konoha alone. So this time Obito is also avenging for Uchiha Madara. Uchiha, who used to be prosperous in the past, seems to be walking alone in the clan of the Uchiha clan, sighing softly, with a bit of disappointment at the corner of his mouth. Only one person in the Uchiha clan. At this time, Chen went to Uchiha's Nenga Shrine Ancestral Hall, where the spiritual seats of the ancestors of the Uchiha family were stored. The spiritual seat of the ancestors of Uchiha. Chen took out a bottle of sake from his arms, and even a wine glass, took out the wine, and poured a glass. "From now on, there will be no Uchiha in Konoha, you will be disappointed," Chen whispered to himself, only to see that the direction Chen was facing was the spiritual seat of Uchiha Ming, the former head of the Uchiha family. Uchiha Ming has always taken care of Chen a lot, but unfortunately he was killed by Danzo, but before his death, he pinned his hopes on Chen, and let Chen revitalize the Uchiha family. Unfortunately, Chen let him down. After all, the Uchiha clan is heading for clan annihilation. Uchiha, which you revived with one hand, fell at the hands of these people at the top of Konoha. Chen looked indifferent, thinking of those high-level Konoha who targeted the Uchiha family. If Tatsu had the slightest affection for Konoha because of Minato, Tsunade, etc., then Tatsu has no affection for Konoha now. Even your son, Uchiha Fugaku, died under Konoha's conspiracy. Chen whispered to himself, I think Konoha like this, you will also hate and be disappointed. It is ironic that the Uchiha family, once one of the two founding families of Konoha, has come this way. Chen whispered to himself, a hint of indifference appeared on the corner of his mouth. Konoha, Uchiha, Danzo. Chen said these words one by one, and when he said Danzo, his tone was already chilling. Danzo. This time the initiator, the one who killed Uchiha Ming, and the one who made Uchiha Fugaku hate the most. Chen has already made up his mind, this time to kill Danzo. This old guy, Danzo, is the initiator of the Uchiha clan's annihilation this time, and even provoked Chen, and also made Uchiha Fugaku have a last wish. So Chen did not hesitate and decided to kill. Chen's strength, trying to kill Danzo would be a waste of money. However, Chen did not intend to simply kill Danzo, but to change the way. The night of this clan extermination passed quickly, a blood moon hung in the sky, and the blood color slowly faded, and gradually returned to normal. Will be an eternal nightmare for Sasuke. Even with time, it is difficult to smooth the scars. This day has passed. The genocide of Uchiha shocked the ninja world and quickly spread throughout the 5 kingdoms. Before that, Uchiha was Konoha's most honorable and most eye-catching clan. Because of Chen's existence, Uchiha's reputation became even louder, but unfortunately it eventually became a sigh. At this moment, Chen walked out of the Uchiha Ancestral Hall, and Chen also stayed here. The whole night, Matsuri was laying the souls of the Uchiha clan. Immediately afterwards, Chen left Uchiha's house. Instead, Chen walked step by step towards the Konoha village, out of the Uchiha clan. At the same time, Chen's chakra surged out and released it unscrupulously. A chakra rose into the sky. How strong Chen's chakra was at this time, only to see that chakra was like a substance, burst out, and rose into the sky. Chen shouted, Danzo, come out and lead to death. Voice spread all over the village, deafening. More to reward, the 3 things of reading collection, recommendation, and points. 454 killing a person in 10 steps, leaving 1,000 miles behind. Danzo, get out of here and kill me. Chen shouted loudly, and the voice spread all over Konoha, that chakra surging frantically, with a contemptuous tone, completely ignoring all the ninjas in Konoha. That threatening aura was soaring into the sky, chakra soaring into the sky. From then on, Yi Chen's body was as dense as a liquid. At the same time, the space around Chen seemed to be distorted, and the terrifying momentum was astonishing, which made everyone in Konoha stunned and felt a strong aura. This powerful and terrifying chakra is really terrifying and terrifying. All of Konoha's people suddenly felt like they were facing a great enemy, completely stunned. Instant, all the ninjas in Konoha could hear clearly. These Konoha ninjas were all crazy, and they never thought that Chen would suddenly appear. Chen's voice echoed clearly throughout Konoha. In Konoha, only 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen's expression changed. At this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen was holding a pipe and took a puff when he heard Chen's words, and his hand shook violently, dropping the pipe in his hand to the ground. He said in astonishment, "This is him, he is back." There were 2 new Anbu around him. Not knowing what Sarutobi Hiruzen meant, they all looked at each other, very curious. Senior Anbu next to him, but his expression changed, and he whispered to himself, "It's actually him." Senior, who is it, and what is going on here? Seeing that the surrounding seniors and Sarutobi Hiruzen looked like they were facing the enemy, the new Anbu members looked at Chen curiously. "It's the Legend of the Stars, it's him who is back." The senior Anbu murmured with a look of awe in his eyes. "The Legend of the Stars, isn't that the legendary Uchiha Chen?" The newly promoted Anbu members were also shocked. They are legendary characters, it is really scary to appear like this. The surroundings were dead silent, and Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't even notice that the pipe fell to the ground. Sarutobi Hiruzen was silent for a long time, and then suddenly reacted. Everyone, on the highest alert, follow me to find Danzo and protect his safety. Yes. Seeing that Sarutobi Hiruzen looked like a great enemy, that Anbu member was a little puzzled. Even if the legendary star legend came, it wouldn't take so much trouble. This posture is simply to be extremely guarded against Uchiha Chen. The legendary legend of the stars is really so terrifying. The new Anbu doesn't know how powerful Chen is. After all, in their opinion, Chen is only one person. As for dealing with one person, how about dispatching the entire Anbu, let alone Lord Danzo? There is still the whole route. The members of the group made such a big battle just for the legend of the stars, would it be too exaggerated? This is the thought of everyone in the heart. Also, in Anbu route, organizing base. Danzo also heard Chen's words, Danzo, come and lead to death, only to see a hint of surprise in Danzo's eyes. He never thought that Chen would appear in Konoha village. Instant, a flash appeared in Danzo's eyes. How is this possible? Danzo said to himself in astonishment. Uchiha-chan actually came, he actually came. I only saw that Danzo seemed to feel an invisible pressure, feeling the cold sweat falling from his whole body, and his expression was tense. Lord Danzo. Quote. Few people around. The members all looked at Danzo, and looked at Danzo with some worry. Of the members of these routes are Danzo's old subordinates, and they also know that Chen is very powerful, so they are very worried about it. Danzo was also panicked, even more shocked in his heart, completely shocked. However, Danzo was still in shock and whispered, damn Uchiha Chen, you think I'm really afraid of you. This time I also collected a lot of Sharingan to deal with you. I don't believe you, I have more than a dozen here. Sharingan, can't beat you. Danzo also collected Sharingan, not only Shisui's eyes. Danzo also secretly collected a lot of Sharingan over the years, including Shisui's right eye, a total of 11 Sharingan. With these 11 Sharingans in hand, Danzo finally has the courage, and feels that he is enough to compete with Chen. Thinking of this, Danzo's pale face finally has a bit of blood. All the members of the route, obey my orders, and you all will be dispatched in a while. With all your strength, you must solve Uchiha Chen, and those who can kill Uchiha Chen are all heroes of Konoha. Danzo gave a loud shout. Yes, my lord. Chen, the members are all nodding, all waiting. Only Sarutobi Hiruzen there is movement, but also Akamichi Choza, Nara Shikaku, Yamanaka Inoichi Inoshika-cho and others. Addition, Kakashi, Gai, Kurenai Yuhi and other people who used to have a relationship with Chen were all shocked. No, it should be said that the whole Konoha was shocked. The ninjas in Konoha heard Chen's voice just now, and saw a young man dressed in black, with a mysterious temperament and an unusually handsome appearance, walking out of the Uchiha clan and advancing step by step. The entire Konoha, everyone was shocked and looked at Chen in astonishment. This. Sure enough, it's him, Uchiha Chen. I heard that the Uchiha clan was exterminated. Could it be that he came to seek revenge, looking for Lord Danzo? Chen ignored everyone's voices, and just walked step by step to the location of the route, headquarters, and went to find Danzo. Chen has only one purpose at this time, and that is to kill Danzo. Chen advances step by step, and everyone around him can't stop him at all, only to see a chakra wall formed around Chen, which pushes everyone away invisibly, and no one can get close to Chen's 100-meter range. Within. And chakra shocked everyone. This is how strong it is to be so terrifying. Uchiha-chan, don't you dare to attack Danzo-sama. At this time, two members of Gen came first, and kunai threw their hands to attack Chen, and at the same time released ninjutsu. Chen looked up at them, shook his head lightly, just volleyed a little, and saw a force burst out. The two members of Gen fell to the ground at the same time, their bodies burst open without warning, and blood spattered 3 feet. Died instantly. This is the control of Chen Mangekyo's gravitational effect, and at present, the ninjas under the elite Jonin can be killed instantly. Chen squinted his eyes. He came here specifically to kill people today. 10 steps to kill a person, 1,000 miles without leaving. Please download Fei Lu novel. 455 words, kill. To control gravity is invisible and extremely difficult to defend, so it is very strange. I only saw Chen Linkong a little, and with the power of the eyes, I saw the 2 roots. The members of the organization fell down, blood splattered 3 feet, and fell directly to the ground. Chen currently possesses the pupil power of Rinnegan, and it is even more easy to deal with ninjas of this level. Under such circumstances, Chen easily killed the 2 members of Gen, and the surrounding Konoha ninjas were shocked. This is the legend of the stars. He's back again. Uchiha Chen, it's really scary. It was a pity back then. If he was still in Konoha now, we Konoha would have become the strongest among the 5 great powers. The people around were talking a lot, and they cast at Chen, completely shocked. Everyone was shocked by Chen's performance. That chakra soaring into the sky, the terrifying aura was moving. Everyone looked at Chen subconsciously, watching Chen step by step towards the route, the headquarters of the organization, watching Chen Qian go to kill Danzo. Chen. Several ninjas in the organization rushed out again and attacked Chen. Chen's mouth showed a bit of coldness, and the members of Gen were not afraid at all, but they showed their strength when they moved. Only 3 Gens were seen. The members of the organization came quickly and attacked Chen, and when Chen moved, he saw him stretch out his hand and use the Shinra Tensai Almighty Push sign. Shinra Tensai Almighty Push sign. Chen's Rinnegan strength was revealed, and Shinra Tensai Almighty Push directly bounced off the members of the root organization, and no one could get close to Chen's body. The powerful chakra erupted, and Shinra Tensai Almighty Push immediately killed the members of the root organization, and the surrounding villages were a sensation. Distance, everyone in Konoha was shocked. Looking at Chen, they felt that Chen was even more terrifying than when Kyubi, Ninetales, attacked the village. Even Anbu's master was not Chen's enemy. In an instant, General lost 5 masters. Front, the figure flashed for a moment, only to see Sarutobi Hiruzen and others finally appear, including some Anbu, as well as Kakashi, Guy, Kurenai Yuhi and others also looked at Chen in shock. I haven't seen you for many years, and Lord Chen's strength has reached a higher level, reaching such a terrifying level. It's simply incredible. Kurenai Yuhi looked at Chen with complicated eyes, only to see Chen strolling in the courtyard, as if he didn't come to kill at all. If it weren't for the power of the earth-shattering chakra behind Chen, I really couldn't see what Chen wanted to do. Yes. Guy also looked at Chen in astonishment, and said, chakra, it's even scarier than Kyubi, Ninetales back then. Everyone looked at Chen in shock, and the powerful chakra of Chen was completely more terrifying than the beast. Is it still the power of human beings? Everyone can't help but come out of this, and it is even more terrified, completely shocked. This terrifying chakra is simply not human power. And what is going on with his eyes? The ripples and lines are extremely mysterious and supreme. Uchiha-chan, since you have betrayed the village, I advise you to stop meddling in Konoha's affairs. This is not the place you should come. Hearing that Sarutobi Hiruzen also looked at Tatsu with a complicated tone, but spoke in a semi-threatening manner. Chen frowned and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen was startled, and felt a huge chakra power swept over. Even he felt a heartbeat. Even though it was a long distance, he still felt the extraordinariness of Chen. Especially Chen's eyes made Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart horrified. It is the strongest Rinnegan among the 3 major pupils in the legend of Rinnegan, the most supreme, mysterious, and the Rinnegan of the 6 paths immortal. Sarutobi Hiruzen is a character who has been called a doctor of ninjutsu. Of course, he has a lot of knowledge and is completely shocked. Who would have thought that Chen's eyes are actually the legendary Rinnegan? Chen just glanced at Sarutobi Hiruzen lightly, and Sarutobi Hiruzen felt a cold body in his body. Chen's aura made it feel a little scary. Do not interfere in Konoha's affairs. A sneer flashed at the corner of Chen's mouth, and sneered, Sarutobi Hiruzen, this is my Uchiha's family business. How are you Konoha? I'm too lazy to ask. But today Danzo must die. Danzo must die. This simple sentence directly betrays Danzo to death. And Sarutobi Hiruzen and others felt a huge killing intent. This killing intent was unstoppable, rising into the sky, and accompanied by Chen's words, Sarutobi Hiruzen subconsciously took a step back. Chen walked hundreds of steps, and met Anbu and Gen's ninjas along the way. At this time, his aura was astonishing, and no one could resist. Chen finally reached the route where Danzo was located, the organization base. Chen said indifferently, Danzo, don't hide here, I know you are here, get out of here. Chen's voice came to him. Danzo still didn't react at all, so Chen gradually narrowed his eyes. Chen stretched out a hand, and said lightly, Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull. Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull. Only saw a huge gravitational force coming out. The strong attraction formed a tornado Uzumaki. This Uzumaki burst out a strong attraction, making the root, the base of the surrounding buildings all were sucked out. All resolved under this Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull. All the surrounding roots exploded, finally forcing Danzo to show up. Danzo finally appeared. In the midst of the broken walls, Danzo walked out slowly, leaning on crutches, staring at Chen. Uchiha Chen. Danzo. Both sides called out their names to each other, and the corners of Chen's mouth filled with coldness, and finally shut. Facing Danzo at this moment, there is only one word, kill. More, please be automatic. 456 Danzo, die. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Danzo's name. Chen didn't say a word, and immediately started to move towards Danzo. Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull. Chen stretched out his hand again, only to see a huge gravitational force unfolding. This is the most unique and powerful force belonging to Bansho Tenon, Universal Pull, bursting out. The strong gravitational force created a suction force that controlled Danzo's body and pulled Danzo to Yi Nan's side. In an instant, the storm rolled up. Danzo has also been prepared for a long time. Before, he was not always huddled at the base, but preparing for a battle with Chen. I only saw Danzo's crutches hammering the ground heavily, making a dull thunderous sound, and then I saw Chen. The rest of the members all moved quickly, all attacking Chen. Chen narrowed his eyes, not afraid at all, just volleyed into the air using the gravity control. I saw that the members of the roots were stagnant, almost unable to move, and were completely suppressed by Chen's power of the iceberg, but these ninjas are no longer an opponent at all. After all, Chen has now reached the level of Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama back then. These ninjas with roots, although they are super elites to ordinary ninjas, to Chen they are just ants. Even if it is a slightly larger ant, it is only an ant, and it can still be slapped to death. Chen moved violently, and as soon as he made a move, he was shocked. Instant, I saw more than a dozen ninjas flying upside down, all spit out blood, all fell to the ground, and were instantly killed by Chen. Entire roots, the current ninjas of the organization are almost all dead. Except for the roots that were sent out on a mission by Danzo, the ninja narrowly escaped, and the remaining ninjas were all dead. It can be said that this time root, the loss is heavy. Immediately, Danzo's face turned black, and there was even a trace of blood spilling from the corner of his mouth. He almost vomited blood because of Chen's anger. With just one move, Chen will kill all the current ninjas. Danzo, it's your turn. I want to kill you. Everyone in the ninja world can save you. Chen said lightly. The tone of this moment was extremely domineering and shocking. At the same time, there was a dead silence all around. Sarutobi Hiruzen was silent, Konoha's Anbu was silent, Kurenai Yuhi, Guy, Kakashi and others were silent. Without him, it was really shocking. Chen's hand completely showed his unfathomable strength, let alone Danzo. Even everyone around Konoha was deeply shocked and completely shocked. Especially Kakashi, Kurenai Yuhi, Guy and others. They ask themselves that their strength is not bad, but they are comparable to the Anbu members of Gen. Zhang, but they are as weak as babies, not Chen's at all. The enemy of Yi. Compared with Chen, it is simply the difference between heaven and abyss. Chen shows domineering strength. This strength is simply shocking, completely shocking, and they are afraid to speak. Chen's strength is too strong. Danzo's face was ashen, and he had to show his trump card at this time. He said, Uchiha-chan, even if you are strong, this old man will keep you here today even if he is desperate for his life. Danzo shouted angrily and untied the bandages on his body suddenly, only to see Sharingan on his right arm and eyes. A total of 11 Sharingans were revealed. Uchiha-chan, you have Sharingan, and I have Sharingan too. And I have 11 Sharingan, including one Mangekyo Sharingan of your disciple Shisui. I don't believe I can't deal with you. Danzo roared angrily, and he faced Chen, knowing that he could only survive by letting go. Sharingan. When did this guy Danzo collect so many Sharingan and they are all over his right arm and eye? What the hell is going on? Sarutobi Hiruzen was shocked and muttered to himself that he had no idea what was going on. What exactly is going on is clear, but Danzo is collecting Sharingan secretly, and then uses Senju Hashirama's cells to transplant it on his right arm to control the power of these Sharingan. This action made Chen's eyes flash with a hint of coldness again. Chen didn't even bother to pay attention to Danzo, and burst out with a strong chakra. Susanoo, complete body. The golden Susanoo, and a pair of wings appeared on Susanoo at the same time. Susanoo's strength is fully revealed, and a powerful burst of strength. There is armor on Susanoo, wearing armor, holding the cloud sword of Tien Kong. Like a ghost, it is awesome. Tatsu-sama's Susanoo is completely different from before, that weapon. Kurenai Yuhi muttered to himself, noting the difference in Tatsu Susanoo's weapon. Tien Kong cloud sword is particularly eye-catching. Instant, Chen also did not have any extra movement, just a sword slashed out. Chen wants to let Danzo die. Under the huge pressure of Susanoo, almost no one can stop Chen, and even they all watch Chen's sword slashing out. The powerful Susanoo burst out, and a sword slashed out. The outbreak hit. In an instant, this sword enveloped the space and enveloped everything. Seeing Danzo's terrified expression, an incredible look flashed in his eyes, because in an instant, Danzo felt that the air seemed to freeze, and even the space was blocked for it. Who would have thought that Chen's strength was so terrifying for a time that Danzo couldn't struggle at all, and could only shout, Izanagi. Danzo was unable to resist for a while, and could only use Izanagi to block Chen's attack, and wanted to use the strongest demonic illusion to resist the attack. Izanagi was seen to activate. And Chen moved violently, and a sword was slashed out. This sword seemed to even allow time to flow back to a fixed amount, absorbing the power of yin and yang in this sword. Shinra Bansho, all creation, all in one sword. At the same time, the horror in Danzo's eyes grew stronger and stronger. Time seems to be blocked. 457 shocked Konoha. Even though Danzo used Izanagi, he was surprised to find that his body was still unable to move, and his Sharingan power was still bound by Chen. Power, let Chen face great danger. Izanagi, the strongest demonic illusion in the legend, can transform any unfavorable factors in reality into demonic illusion. Strong this demonic illusion is, time is limited. Izanagi time should be around 1 minute per Danzo Sharingan. Chen's sword seems to be astonishingly fast, but as time flows, it becomes slow again. That mountain-like coercion is always pressing on Danzo, making Danzo completely breathless. Complete suppression in one hit. Strong Izanagi was, it couldn't withstand Chen's coercion. Ninjutsu is strong, but you have to see who is using it. When Izanagi used it on Danzo, it was as if it was not as good as Chen's offensive. Instant, I saw that Danzo felt the threat of death, this force eroded and swallowed, and an amazing power erupted. Danzo was killed by this sword in a blink of an eye. At the same time, Danzo's figure reappeared, but the Sharingan on his right arm closed one. Has used it once. Danzo hasn't reacted yet, his face shows a frightened look, and everyone around is stunned. What kind of ninjutsu is this? Danzo was clearly killed by that sword just now, but he was completely resurrected. This is impossible, and while they were shocked, they immediately discovered that the power of Chen's sword had not dissipated. The space is locked, and the power of that sword is still there. Continue. Chakra ran wild, Tiankong Yunjian's sword light skyrocketed, piercing Danzo again. Danzo is dead again. Immediately afterwards, the second Sharingan on Danzo's right arm was closed. Meanwhile, Danzo is resurrected again. But at the moment of Danzo's resurrection, Chen Yijian's light radiated again, and directly pierced Danzo's heart. Once again, Danzo continued to be killed, and relied on Izanagi to resurrect. This bizarre scene continued. Everyone next to him was stunned, watching this unreasonable scene in complete shock. What the hell was this situation? Everyone around was shocked, and after Danzo's resurrection, this time there was finally a hint of horror in his eyes. Only Danzo felt the horror of Chen at close range. Danzo doesn't understand what is going on with Chen at all. His ninjutsu is almost close to a certain rule and a powerful field. In an instant, a powerful force erupts, completely locking him. It can be said that Danzo is in the field at this time. Was directly revived by Chen second, and then resurrected again. It is impossible for him to leave this field. Because of the all rules in this field, even time, space, and weight seem to be controlled by Chen's master and fully controlled by Chen. In such a situation, Chen's power is really terrifying. Danzo has absolutely no choice but to rely on Izanagi to delay time, but gradually discovered something was wrong. No matter how much he delays, he is still under Chen's control. He is powerless to resist this ending. He can only watch himself being killed again and again. Once, twice, 3 times, 6 times, 7 times, 8 times, 10 times. Danzo's mood finally became more and more panic, because he knew that once the 11 opportunities were used up, then he would completely die and be completely killed by Chen. Thinking of this, Danzo's heart rose. Infinitely frightened, he is no different from a fragile baby at this time. The only thing he can do is to rely on Izanagi to delay time. 11 times. This is the 11th time Danzo has been killed by Chen. The Sharingan on Danzo, including the Sharingan who grabbed Uchiha Shisui with his right eye, are all closed, and they are not Chen's opponents at all. And from the beginning to the end, only a sword came out. Due to the control of Chen domain, the power of this sword continued to spread, making Danzo unable to escape, always under the power of this sword. The fear in Danzo's eyes had spread completely, and he knew that at the last stroke, he was doomed to die. The sword light flashed. Danzo fell softly to the ground. Danzo's pupils were dilated, and there was a thick look of horror in his eyes, and there was a bit of horror in his eyes, completely shocked. Silence all around. Everyone was stunned. Everyone clearly saw that Chen just made a single strike just now, but he killed Danzo in a row, a total of 12 times. Killed Danzo 12 times, all of Danzo's 11 Sharingan closed, and finally died. But from the beginning to the end, only one sword came out. What a terrifying and amazing strength. It was so shocking that it couldn't be more shocking. Cool wind blew, and Danzo's body became icy cold. The air around them became surprised. Everyone was completely shocked, and they never thought that Chen's strength could be so terrifying. Terrible. So scared. This power is simply amazing. Surroundings were quiet, there was not even a sound, and the needles could be heard falling. Even Sarutobi Hiruzen stared at Chen in a daze, with a look of astonishment in his eyes, which was extremely complicated. He asked himself that he would never reach this amazing strength, and Chen's blow just now also hit him deeply. The whole Konoha was in shock. And in everyone's heart, the thought came up again. If Chen was still in Konoha, it would be better to look at the 5 kingdoms in the ninja world. Glancing at Sarutobi Hiruzen, he said indifferently, the Konoha Uchiha clan perished, and Danzo interfered with it. This is the end. Spoke, Chen fluttered away. That was left was the Konoha ninja standing in place. 458 The shocked ninja world, Chen and Itachi. Chen fluttered away, without looking at anyone, he had already drifted away. Chen used Rinnegan's instant ability to leave, no one in the room could stop Chen, and Chen's figure disappeared in Konoha in an instant. Leave Konoha. This time, Chen didn't see Tsunade, and secretly checked the news, and got the news that Tsunade went out to Konoha to relax. Chen knew that Tsunade had gradually emerged from the shadow of the Senju clan's decay, and he felt relieved. He did not deliberately search for Tsunade's trace, but left Konoha village. Without Tsunade, without Minato, or even without Uchiha, such a Konoha is no longer worth cherishing. Thinking of this, Chen's figure flashed and disappeared in Konoha. At Konoha village. After Chen left, Konoha was in shock for several days, but he still didn't recover. And soon, the news that Danzo of Konoha village was killed quickly spread throughout the ninja world. A while, the ninja world shook and was shocked. The 5 kingdoms were shocked. This is after the last battle between Chen and Uchiha Madara, and everyone got news of Chen again. And this time, the news is even more shocking. Uchiha Chen appeared in Konoha, and with just one sword, he killed Danzo, who possessed the strength of Hokage, on the spot. Danzo had no ability to resist at all from beginning to end. This news cast a shadow on the hearts of the filmmakers of the 5 major countries. Although Danzo is not the strongest among the cage-level powerhouses, his strength is not weak. But now he was killed by Chen. If they were them, they would be able to insist on a few tricks to instantly unlock the power of the full-body Susanoo. It's definitely not ordinary, but it's not. Ordinary cage-level powerhouses can compete. When Uchiha Madara opened the full-body Susanoo, even the 5 shadows felt desperate. The ninja world was completely shocked by Chen, and the strength that Chen showed was too amazing. For a time, many scouts and spies from the 5 major countries were inquiring about Chen's news. Chen's dispatch this time reminds people that there is such an amazing existence in the ninja world. Chen didn't care about this at all, his line of sight was in another place. Uchiha Ferret. Chen intends to find Uchiha Itachi and let Uchiha. Wasn't that Tatsuyuki came up on a whim, but Akatsuki originally needed a group of leaders of Tatsuki organization, although Tatsuki's current strength was strong enough, but he couldn't always let Tatsun do everything. Uchiha Itachi is a good candidate. Chen also belongs to the Uchiha clan, and is very powerful. The only time he lost in the original book was to Sasuke, and it was because he deliberately released water. At this time, Uchiha Itachi had just betrayed Konoha village and was in a state of nowhere to go. In the original book, Obito pulled Uchiha Itachi into Akatsuki, and Uchiha Itachi always mistook Obito for Uchiha Madara, and also put forward conditions to Obito, stayed in Akatsuki all the time. Uchiha Itachi is a good candidate. Currently Tatsu is worried about the 2 guys, Obito and Nagato, and Sasori, Kokaku. All these people are also difficult to support the overall situation. Only Itachi is very strong and has a high IQ, enough to be Tatsu's right-hand man. Satatsu intends to persuade Uchiha Itachi to join Akatsuki. Chen also has a certain degree of certainty, and also knows the general situation of Uchiha Itachi, and believes that he can persuade Uchiha Itachi. The only problem is finding Uchiha Itachi. Chen's strength has skyrocketed at this time, and although his perception ability is not as pervert as that of the old 6 paths, he is also very terrifying, looking for traces of Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Itachi should not be far from Konoha yet. Soon, Chen felt a familiar chakra. Uchiha Itachi's chakra. Chen's heart moved, and Uchiha Itachi's chakra finally appeared. Chen found Uchiha Itachi in a place called Kikyo Castle, which is also a bustling city, full of crowds and bustling. Chen, however, found Uchiha Itachi accurately. I only saw Uchiha Itachi dressed in black, wearing Konoha missing nin clothes on his head, a look that no strangers should approach, so that many people around him kept away from Uchiha Itachi and did not want to get close to him. Under such circumstances, there was a smile on the corner of Chen's mouth, and he quickly approached Uchiha Itachi. At the same time, Chen deliberately revealed a chakra. Although this chakra was imperceptible, it could be easily discovered by a master like Itachi. Uchiha Itachi's heart moved slightly, he sensed a special chakra, and his pupils shrank suddenly. This chakra seems to be very similar to the chakra of the Uchiha family, which made Uchiha Itachi want to find out. Soon, Uchiha Itachi was looking for the source of this chakra, and quickly left the city to the suburbs. Chen successfully used chakra to lure Uchiha Itachi out. Uchiha Itachi was very vigilant the moment he sensed chakra, but he was extremely curious. At this time, Uchiha Itachi did not let go of his vigilance, and the chakra on his body was quiet. Open, secretly guarding everything. As expected of Itachi, at such a young age, with such strength, and such meticulous thinking, it is truly amazing. At this time, Chen's voice came from all over the place, and he couldn't tell the direction at all, which made Uchiha Itachi's body vibrate suddenly. Uchiha Itachi tried to tell the location of the other party by his voice, but he failed directly. At this time, Uchiha Itachi was startled suddenly, the Sharingan on his body turned on involuntarily, he seemed to sense something, and the indifferent and cold expression on his face changed. It's demonic illusion that can release demonic illusion just by sound. What is your excellency? Who? Demonic illusion. It turns out that Chen just released a hint of demonic illusion just by relying on his own voice, but he was noticed by Uchiha Itachi, who is also the Grand Master Demonic Illusion, and Uchiha Itachi couldn't help moving. Release demonic illusion with his voice, which even the current Uchiha Itachi can't do. Who is the other party asking for an automatic reward? 459 Chen's mouth escapes. Open black lens bracket, close black lens bracket. Demonic illusion with sound that even Uchiha Itachi's current level of demonic illusion can't do. It's a very, very, very tough demonic illusion. Chen relied on his voice to get to the level of demonic illusion, which he learned at Mount Myoboku, of course. The most famous demonic illusion of Mount Myoboku is the Toad Duet of the Two Immortals. The power of this demonic illusion should not be underestimated, it is very scary. In such a situation, Tatsuya learned Mount Myoboku's similar demonic illusion, using sound as a medium, is enough to release demonic illusion. That's why Itachi just now was so surprised. His voice was enough to release demonic illusion. If it wasn't for the fact that Itachi knew about demonic illusion, I would have been trapped in demonic illusion just now. Thinking of this, Uchiha Itachi became more cautious. Who can have such strength? Your Excellency, there are only a few people in the ninja world. Your Excellency's Grand Master of Demonic Illusion and this chakra are very similar to the Sharingan of my Uchiha clan. Uchiha Itachi, you already have the answer in your heart, don't you? Chen said lightly. He still didn't show up, but the voice came from all directions, pervasive, still in the state of demonic illusion. A little carelessness can make people fall into demonic illusion. And Uchiha Itachi resisted with all his strength to ensure the normal flow of chakra in the body. The so-called demonic illusion is actually to make the chakra flow in the demonic illusion chaotic, trigger the demonic illusion, and lead to the demonic illusion. In order to crack the demonic illusion, the flow of chakra in the body must be restored to normal. Uchiha Itachi is also a demonic illusion expert. Of course he knows this, so he desperately wants to maintain the flow of chakra in his body and resist Chen's demonic illusion. But gradually, Uchiha Itachi was surprised to find that this chakra was flowing, and Uchiha Itachi could only support it. His face was gradually dripping with sweat, and his expression was extremely difficult. Tatsu's strength is so strong that even Uchiha Itachi has to deal with it with all his strength. Sure enough, it's you, the legend of the stars, Uchiha Chen. Uchiha Itachi spit out the word slowly. Uchiha Itachi actually guessed Chen's identity from the beginning, but it has not been confirmed. It's me, but you actually called my name directly. Is it really okay to be so rude to seniors? Chen smiled faintly and finally appeared. Was also dressed in black, standing in the same place. A pair of purple Rinagans were revealed, which made Uchiha Itachi slightly shocked and took a step back. This is what your eyes are. Rinnegan. Chen said directly. The surprise in Uchiha Itachi's heart was even stronger. It turned out to be the supreme Rinnegan among the three major pupils. It is said that those are the unique eyes of the 6 Paths Immortals. Besides Chen's Rinnegan, there are also three Tomo. Uchiha Ferret. Chen looked at you, and the Uchiha Itachi in front of him was indeed a genius of the Uchiha clan. Facing his pressure just now, he remained calm, and at the same time he was surprised, but not panicked. Uchiha Itachi had a complicated expression, and the former man with such a big name was filled with emotion for a while. Uchiha Itachi has heard Chen's name since he can remember. When Chen has not yet betrayed Konoha, he has always been regarded as the greatest pride of the Uchiha clan. At the same time, Chen's strength is generally recognized. Even the 3 elders with high morals and respect are respectful to Chen, and everyone in the clan is in awe. It can be said that Chen is the strongest of the Uchiha clan chiefs in all dynasties. And Uchiha Itachi also grew up listening to the legend of Chen. Until the Chen rebels left. But even if Chen betrayed Konoha, when the Uchiha family mentioned Chen's name, everyone was still in awe and respected it. It can be said that Chen is a living legend of the Uchiha clan. And now, the legend is standing in front of Uchiha Itachi. Uchiha Itachi has an unreal feeling, especially Chen's age looks too young, not even a few years older than him, which makes Uchiha Itachi feel a strange feeling. This person is really the one in the legend, so this is simply, Uchiha Chen, you. Itachi's tone is very complicated. He has also heard the news that Chen killed Danzo in the past few days, and he has even more awareness of the man's thunderous means in front of him. He is very strong, very strong. One hand, Uchiha Itachi still has deep feelings for the Uchiha family, but he just chose the path of Shura, which makes him always in torment. Other hand, Uchiha Itachi is at the most confused moment. He has just exterminated his family and has no goals. Uchiha Itachi, I have come to invite you to join the organization I created, Akatsuki. Akatsuki. That's right, Akatsuki. This organization was created by me in order to achieve the ultimate unification of the ninja world. You have also seen what happened to the Uchiha family in Konoha, and you are not at all resentful about the actions of Konoha's high-level officials. The Uchiha family who have made great achievements in war, and your parents. Chen said lightly. Hearing Chen's words, Uchiha Itachi frowned deeply, and there was a deep pain in his eyes. What Chen said was good. He is in great pain at this moment. Uchiha Itachi is of course full of resentment towards the decision of Konoha's top management, but Uchiha Itachi is a person who takes the overall situation into consideration. Uchiha Itachi, I understand your thoughts, so you should join us Akatsuki. I need your help. In addition, there are more than 200 members of the Uchiha clan in Akatsuki. You should make atonement for the Uchiha clan. Atonement. These simple words made Uchiha Itachi's eyes move suddenly. Uchiha Itachi has always felt guilty for the Uchiha family. He even raised the butcher knife to kill his father and mother, but the pain in his heart seemed to fall into the abyss. And now Chen's words undoubtedly gave him a reminder and hope. There will be breaking points soon. 460 Convince, Uchiha Itachi's condition. Although Uchiha Itachi has a cold personality, his feelings are much deeper than ordinary people. This can be seen from what he did to Sasuke. In the original work, he could say that he bore all the sins for Sasuke. He kept killing his parents with his own hands, carrying the name of a traitor. He planned everything, and finally let Sasuke get his own Mangekyo Sharingan, and finally ended with a smile. The ruthless Uchiha Itachi is actually a very emotional person. Why Chen persuaded Uchiha Itachi from the perspective of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Itachi's eyes moved slightly, and he seemed to be thinking seriously. From Uchiha Itachi's point of view, the credibility of what Chen said was still pretty good. After all, the strength of the person in front of him has reached such a terrifying level that he no longer bothers to lie. It is true that the Uchiha clan was once divided into two, and a large number of clansmen followed Chen out of the village. Thinking that there are still a group of Uchiha clansmen in this world, Itachi's expression moved slightly, and he was already moved. He knew that his father Uchiha Fugaku's greatest ideal was to revitalize the Uchiha family. If he could fulfill this wish for his father, thinking of this, Uchiha Itachi's cold heart would also be slightly activated. Chen smiled lightly, and added, Danzo has been killed by me, and Konoha should not want you now. The truth of the Uchiha clan's extermination, only a few high-level officials know. As for Uchiha Sasuke, as long as you promise to join Akatsuki, I can guarantee the safety of Uchiha Sasuke. Chen's last condition made Uchiha Itachi's heart the most. What Uchiha Itachi is most worried about is Sasuke's safety in the village, but unfortunately Uchiha Itachi is very strong, but he can't do everything. Chen is different, his strength is enough to take care of Sasuke. Thinking of this, Uchiha Itachi finally looked no longer hesitant, and said in a low voice, Okay, but let's go to the Akatsuki you said first. If the situation is really as you said, then it's fine. Yes. Chen chuckled and nodded. Uchiha Itachi was relieved, but Chen said lightly, Come with me. Spoke, Chen's figure disappeared instantly and left the place. Uchiha Itachi also disappeared. Both of them flashed by and left this small town in the Hokage world. Rain Country. Entering the territory of the Rain Country, Itachi knew that the entire Rain Country was now under Chen's control, and he was completely shocked. He didn't expect that Chen's layout was so amazing that it had reached this level. The sight of the land of rain really shocked him. Chen took Uchiha Itachi into the country of rain, and after entering the city, he saw at least 1,000 ninjas saluting to Chen, all of them revered like gods, which shocked Itachi again, and only then did he know that Chen's forces at this time had already how huge is it. This layout, this method, this Uchiha Itachi can't help but admire. Reach the Tower of the Land of Rain. Then he saw Uchiha Itachi following Chen, and the news of Chen returning to the country of rain quickly spread, and he also called a collection of all Akatsuki's current members. Akatsuki currently has a lot of members, but the core members are not much different from the original. Except for the members of the Uchiha family, there is not much difference. Akatsuki's situation is now very clear. Sasori, Kaku, Konan, Nagato, and Obito are all members of Akatsuki in the original work, as well as the second and third elders of the Uchiha clan, plus Makoto and Kushina, the two women. The entire core of the current Akatsuki. Of course, Obito and Nagato actually have no power in Akatsuki. Since Nagato revealed his descent and was bewitched by Obito, and Obito joined Akatsuki to cooperate, Nagato and Obito have been gradually marginalized in Akatsuki. At the same time, Obito is also a little unwilling. These days, he brought a member to prepare him to join Akatsuki. This person is the owner of the big sword shark muscle, Oni Shark. Previously, Obito controlled the fourth generation of Mizukage, and was in the village of Kurigakure with the ghost. The shark got acquainted, brought the ghost shark into Akatsuki, and wanted to introduce the ghost shark to Akatsuki. To this, Chen agreed. Far in Akatsuki, except Hidan, Deidara and Black Zetsu White Zetsu, who never joined Akatsuki, Akatsuki's members are basically complete. And with the addition of the Uchiha clan, Akatsuki's strength has reached its peak. Not to mention, Kushina and Makoto are also masters, and the strength of the two has reached the quasi-shadow level. Even Kushina is approaching cage level. Oni joined Akatsuki, while Black Zetsu and White Zetsu obey Obito's orders, and it makes no difference whether they join or not. So, after hearing the news of Tatsu's return, all the members of Akatsuki gathered together. I saw was Akatsuki's dozen or so core members, all dressed in Yuhi Cloud costumes with a black background, wearing rings on their hands with the marks of each member on the rings. Akatsuki's members gathered together, and Itachi was startled again when he saw the crowd, and felt a burst of astonishment. They are all masters. Itachi sighed slightly and found that none of Akatsuki's members are weak, all of them are the top ninjas in the current ninja world. The weakest one is only quasi-shadow. And the stronger ones, such as Sasori, Konan, Kaku, all, etc., have all reached cage-level strength again over the years, and it should not be underestimated. At the same time, Uchiha Itachi also met the second and third elders of the Uchiha clan. The two elders, Uchiha Itachi, knew each other and had an impression from childhood. Use Sharingan. The two elders also recognized the Sharingan of Uchiha Itachi, but did not know which member of the Uchiha clan the other was. Uchiha Itachi, you have seen the general situation of Akatsuki now, and you have also seen the clansmen. What is it, what do you think? Chen asked indifferently. He believed that Uchiha Itachi joined Akatsuki for sure. Obito was slightly startled. He wanted to convince Itachi to join Akatsuki, but unfortunately, Chen took the lead, so he could only sigh secretly. I can join Akatsuki, but I have two conditions. Uchiha Itachi wrote.